Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Even at 38, Lionel Messi keeps making football history. His hat trick last night propelled Argentina to a 3-0 win over Algeria in their World Cup opener. Those 3 goals tie him for most all-time in the World Cup with 16. Messi's the oldest player with a hat trick in a World Cup match, and his 6 World Cup appearances are the most all-time. Argentina battles Austria this coming Monday. Team USA's got Australia this Friday in Seattle. It'll be a 3 p.m. kick in their second World Cup match. In the NHL, Las Vegas says it will not bring back John Tortorella next season. Torts was hired back in March and led the Knights to a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. In baseball Tuesday, the Reds beat the Mets 5-3, second straight win for Cincinnati. In Milwaukee Tuesday, the Brewers beat the Guardians 2-1. Cleveland's going to be without Jose Ramirez through July's All-Star break. Ramirez underwent surgery yesterday to fix a broken left hand. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take a vacation from high interest rates with special rates on balance transfers at BMI Federal Credit Union.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3, 9:45. The U.S. Open is tomorrow. Old buddy Dave Shedloski is going to join us with a preview of Shinnecock and everything that is going to be happening out on Long Island. Coming up at 10:30, rather, our old buddy Dane Brugler is going to stop by. We'll have a little conversation about Julian Sayin, if he's being overlooked a little bit, what he needs to do to elevate for next year's NFL draft. Not that anybody's rushing in. Of course, Brendan Sorsby as well. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your questions into the fellas. We will do that coming up at 11 o'clock. So I was just talking about this with Mike and Brother Bone there. I did not know if I would be into this thing. I didn't. I was pretty tepid in terms of the buildup. And then Team USA put on a show on Friday, and it's pretty much been on. Not that we're sitting down watching every game, certainly not. It's beautiful out and you're outside and you got a million youth activities that are happening. But if we're in the house, the boys asked to put it on. And it's on. It's on in the background. You're doing other things, whether you're cleaning, picking up, whatever, playing with the dog. We even were out shooting hoops the other night and brought a phone out to kind of track the games that were going. They care about all of the games, not just the Team USA game. And I think by and large, this World Cup is delivering in a big, big way. I saw the ratings for the Team USA match on Friday at 9 o'clock. 28 million folks watched it. That is a massive number on a Friday night at 9 o'clock for a World Cup opener. And that's just the U.S. audience, let alone what's happening around the globe. So all of this stuff has kind of been building for a few days, but the star of this World Cup was last night. This is what, I think for the casuals, you were waiting to see. Now, Lionel Messi's been around for a very long time now. He's 38 years old. He's been playing for in Miami now for the last couple of years at least, and so we're used to him. It's a big deal when he comes around, and certainly even the casual fan is certainly aware of who he is. But the idea that a defending World Cup champion like Argentina can debut in the World Cup in America, playing in Kansas City of all places, and Lionel Messi at age 38 can put on a show like the one he put on last night, it's stupefying to me on so many levels. Number one, his singular greatness. I mean, it is now almost without debate that he is the greatest player of all time. So we're watching that historically. You're watching the greatest player of all time play. And then the anticipation of seeing a debut in a World Cup in a primetime window and everything that goes with that and all of the buildup. By the way, coming off of an afternoon where Kylian Mbappe, who plays for Real Madrid and is going to be the all-time World Cup scorer, scored one of the craziest goals you've ever seen in the morning. And so you had that kind of buildup in the afternoon leading into Messi, and then he begs a hat trick. and ties the record for the most goals ever scored at a World Cup. And he's doing so in his 6th World Cup. 6 of them. The guy who held this record for the longest time, I'm not going to do soccer history with you, was a guy named Gerd Muller, held this record for the longest time. He was as you could probably tell by his name, he was a German fella. Very good in the 70s and 80s when they won some World Cup, won a World Cup, I want to say in 74 with Franz Beckenbauer, and he was part of that team. And he had 13 goals in a World Cup. He did it in 14 World Cup games. Well, what does that mean? It means he played in, 2 World Cups? Most of these guys do. The idea that Lionel Messi has been playing at this level for this long and is still this good is stupefying. And the idea that if he was just walking down the street and you hadn't seen his face, I don't know that anyone would identify him as an elite athlete. He's not particularly big. He's not particularly cut. He's just absurdly gifted. He's just a magician with the whole thing. And you don't have to even like soccer to watch him and go, I am watching something unlike everything else. And there's a joy to it that is pretty remarkable. I enjoyed the heck out of it last night. I ended up watching all of the Argentina game just to watch him work. And he put on a show, and it was fun. I'm guessing the numbers are going to be huge on it, Reese.
Yeah, that was one of those things where social media, because I'd forgotten it was at 9 o'clock, but social media drew you to it because there was just every other post had a Messi image on it. And he is the biggest soccer player in the world, I think, right now. And I think he's going to go down as the greatest of all time because this time next week, so next First Friday, he'll be 39. And every record that LeBron James has shattered in the NBA, Lionel Messi's going to do on an international stage. And every time Argentina plays, like the uniforms they wore last night, gorgeous. The scene at Arrowhead was gorgeous. Like everything, even for this casual soccer fan, was about as must-see television as you could get. And I do think it helps. Team USA went out and did what they did last Friday. Now, it'll be, I think, a little bit bigger and better this Friday when they've got a 3 p.m. Eastern start. It's a it's a national holiday. A lot of people are going to be off of work. But even the last couple of days, I found myself with Fox just on. Get home, turn the TV on. You're meandering about the house, doing whatever. Fox is on because you just want to see what's going on in this because it's that international spectacle that you can't right now, at least, pull your eyes away from, and I didn't have this time last week. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, I was all into it. Bake, I know you can't turn it off.
Yeah, I haven't turned it on once and don't plan on it, and I don't...
you want it all on Friday?
No, I don't care about
even for Team USA?
No,
are you non-American? Where's your patriotism?
It's not about that. I just don't like the sport at all. Like, I worked every crew game for 3 years and couldn't wait till I didn't have to do it anymore. And it's... I will say this, though... Bo, you talk about this all the time, especially with the NCAA tournament. When you get to things like this, you want the blue bloods to be there. So having Lionel Messi do what he did last night, that's what you want from this tournament. You want the best players in the sport. You want the stars to have performances like that. So in a World Cup that it sounds like was already getting great numbers, this is only going to help.
Oh, they had a day. There was a day yesterday in terms of just the stars of the game and them delivering. Cristiano Ronaldo's today for Portugal, so he will play. He's playing in his 5th World Cup, or is he in his 6th too?
I want to say this is his 6th.
This is his 6th too. So they've been doing it this long, and to think about the other part of the conversation is just the athlete longevity part of it. I mean, we're at a point now where people can be elite longer and longer. Ronaldo's a great example of it. He's into his 40s now. He's into his 40s. He's not the player he was a decade ago, who could be, but he can still find the back of the net, and he'll still be featured for Portugal today, and he'll probably get some goals in this thing, and he'll deliver on a big moment. And to give you, just to kind of hammer home the longevity part of it, the guy in net last night for Algeria was Zinedine Zidane's son. Now, Zinedine Zidane won a World Cup in '98 for France and is one of the better players of all time. Probably not in the top echelon, but the group right below it. His son's in net. Messi competed in a World Cup with Zidane. I mean, this is a LeBron situation where you are now playing. You're playing his son.
Is he the head buddy guy?
He's the headbutt guy.
Okay, that's how I
One
know.
of the most stupefying sporting events that I've ever seen live. It was very similar to Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear. That was in a World Cup final, Reese. It was in a World Cup final against Italy.
Pretty big stage.
Yeah. And it's something that it doesn't get talked about really much anymore, but really one of the more stupefying things I've ever seen live. That and the Tyson thing in sports. So Bake has not been hooked. We'll see if we can get him hooked on Friday. Come on, little Team USA.
It's not happening.
What else
guys.
do you have to do?
It's not happening.
USA. Come on. What if we get to a World Cup final? Are you going to root for us then? Or
I'm pretty sure, like, I'd got to watch paint dry or something. Like,
Oh,
it just,
my gosh.
it does nothing for me. It really does.
I'm going to buy you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy you the FIFA video game and a platform, and I want you to just try and play it for a week and see if you're not hooked.
I don't think that'll work because I've never been a huge video game guy either. So
Just a conundrum wrapped in a mystery,
Sorry.
aren't you?
it's not.
Do you
for
like
me.
hockey?
I do
Bake?
like hockey.
Our guys out in Vegas. We'll get to that and get you set for the World Cup today. Coming up next, we're off and running on a First Friday. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America.
There's no joke there.
We just are.
The Fan.
Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Hey, Columbus, buy a new Ford at the same price of Ford employee pays. No markup, no haggling. Right now, Capital Ford of Columbus, get employee pricing on F-150s, Super Duties, Explorers, Mustangs, and more. Thousands in savings. This deal ends soon. Come to Capital Ford today, priced for you.
High energy bills? Your HVAC system could be the reason. Save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with Columbus Worthington Air. Smart homeowners know an old air conditioner can cost you more every month. Don't let it drain your wallet. Upgrade to efficient, reliable comfort with payment options that fit your budget. Backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Craving the O? Now it comes to you. For loyal fans, the O on Lane is now offering the O on the Go catering delivery. Perfect for the office or any group. Order box lunches or group catering right now at theoonlane.com. The O on the Go, delivered fresh, delivered easy.
Whether you're repping the orange and brown or shouting Hoo Day, the ultimate football pilgrimage is closer than you think. Ditch the living room, get the family on the road, and make the short drive to greatness and visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. From the backyard to the gridiron, it's the one place where every fan comes together to create new family memories. Make it a weekend to remember and see why Ohio truly is the heart of football. Visit profootballhof.com and plan your visit today.
Grilling season starts now at Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Joseph Senta and Dr. Barry Zeta at Ohio Vein and Vascular are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. They can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. 3 locations to serve you at Polaris, Reynoldsburg, and now open downtown. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
It's Leslie again from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we've kind of got a big announcement. We're doing a special sale right now where qualifying installs are 40% off.
Well, we're doing that at the other window place too.
that's an interesting coin.
April Fools.
April Fool's Day was a while back, Wilson.
Leslie, it's April 1st somewhere.
Is it?
Agree and disagree.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Kyle Bogan, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value and have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you're being treated by the very best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
The Fan has a secret radio station. It's called The Fan 2. You can listen to the Bob and Tom Show, Jim Rome, and Buckeye stuff. Why do they pay me big money to whisper? The Fan 2 is on the Fan's HD2 channel and streaming on the Fan app. You're welcome. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have some more clouds around for the afternoon. Also watching for maybe a few scattered thunderstorms developing mainly northwest of I-71 after 4 or 5 this afternoon. Lower 80s for a high. More widespread thunderstorms are likely in the overnight hours. Few of those could be strong to severe as they move through after midnight. Gusty winds and heavy rain. For Thursday, partly cloudy skies and very breezy, lower 80s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The best facial hair on the air. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, if you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time to act. And there's no place better to do it than my great friends at RCD RV. You know that one of the most underrated things in our fine state are the majestic state parks scattered all throughout the state. Mohican, you can go northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga Valley National Park as well, up there, Old Man's Cave. So many cool places that you can go. And there's no better way to visit these than in an RV. Now through June 27th, every RV purchase from RCD RV comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. They've got over 850 RVs in stock, motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, trusted brands like Cougar, Georgetown, Springdale, Forest River, and Salem. Trade values are sky high right now, by the way, as well. You're going to get the most for your trade at RCD RV. I assure you of that. This limited time event ends on June 27th, so don't wait. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com. I think for me on the World Cup, Beck, we were talking in the break a little bit about how, the once every 4 years part of it. For me, I like watching greatness. I guess that's why, like you brought up in the NCAA basketball tournament. Yeah, I like an upset in round 1 or 2, but I don't want to see George Mason in a Final Four. Give me the big boys. I want to see great players, great teams of consequence, and the World Cup has delivered that. It delivers the best players playing for their country, and the patriotism, no matter where you're from, is pretty unbelievable. I just saw a video this morning in Dallas of like the Croatian fans with a giant flag, like walking down, like by the thousands, walking down the streets in Dallas. Like it's such an incredible amount of patriotism that all of these countries have that for me it's been infectious, and by looking at the ratings it looks like it has been for a lot of people as well.
They were talking last night on the broadcast that Argentinian fans have just taken over downtown Kansas City, and that's I think the coolest thing about all of this is that international flavor, like you talked about. Like you'll see local television broadcasters and local journalists that probably never thought that they would be doing something like this, because when do you get a World Cup in your country? Right. And so you have like a journalist in D.C.'s interviewing a Japanese fan who's just learned barely enough English to say, I'm so excited for this. And stuff like that can give you viral moments. They can kind of catch you with it. It helps that this thing is on Fox. It's also on Peacock. So if you've got that app for Big Ten football and basketball, you can watch World Cup matches.
Wait, what? Mm-hmm. Fox has partnered with Peacock for the World Cup?
I think FIFA did more of that.
Oh, my gosh. So, boy, they're so corrupt. So they double-dipped the broadcast rights?
Wouldn't you?
I guess. I mean, everything's payola to them anyway. Like, why stop there? Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that. I just been watching it on Fox.
And I could be super wrong here. Telemundo is the Spanish broadcast of it. And I think, are they an NBC one or is NBC Univision?
Those two might be the same.
Okay,
they might be.
So I think that's where that rights gets picked up.
Okay.
Is you can watch. Maybe there's no English option on Peacock, but honestly, I know what goal means. And Algeria scored first last night. They scored, but then one of their players was offsides. Mm-hmm. And even them explaining it to me, I was like, his arm negates that first goal?
They took one from Messi off the board first with that, too, where his shoulder was offsides. They said they had claimed by the VAR. I was like, okay.
So
I guess so.
I don't need to know really the jargon because you're kind of just watching the action on the field and really the natural sound. I was thinking back to the NHL, like game 1 of the Stanley Cup final, which did great numbers, didn't have in some markets the audio, and you just had the Nat sound in Carolina. And I think they scored like 30 seconds into game 1. And it's like, this is actually much better.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's pretty good. World Cup schedule today. You're going to Cristiano Ronaldo at 1 o'clock. They take on the Congo, him and Portugal. The headliner today is for sure at 4 o'clock. That's England against Croatia. Those are two quality squads. This England team's really good. They play at 4 o'clock, and then Ghana and Panama, and then Uzbekistan and Colombia late. By the way, when I see Colombia there, this would be my time to mention that if you want to watch the best sports documentary, in my opinion, that was ever made, the 30 for 30 on the two Escobars is it. That's the one. It's a stunning detail of the 1994 World Cup and Andres Escobar, who was a great player for the Colombian national team, and then juxtaposed to Pablo Escobar and all of the stuff he was doing down in Colombia. It's an incredible doc. If you haven't seen it, I couldn't recommend it more highly enough. USA back in action on Friday, as you mentioned, on the holiday, Reese. So that is a 3 o'clock start out in Seattle against Australia. That'll be the next time you get a chance to see the U.S. team in this thing, as they opened with a win last week. So a week between games, then they'll play next Wednesday. That'll be the schedule for Team USA going forward. John Tortorella is out in Las Vegas. He will not return as the head coach of the Vegas Knights. Turns 68 next week, or will. He was hired by Vegas with 8 games left in the regular season, took Vegas all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Here's the statement from Knights GM Kelly McCrimmon. We thank Torts for the guidance he provided our team since joining the organization in March when the decision made to bring Torts to Vegas. We needed an immediate impact to help us pivotal point in the season. Torts' experience and leadership proved to be the boost that we were looking for, helping guide us to the Stanley Cup final. We are grateful for Torts' passion, sincerity, and commitment to our organization. Wish him and his family the best. Is this what he's going to do now? He's like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. He's just going to come in and clean things up at the end of seasons. Like, could he do this the next 4 or 5 years? Like, not coach, but like you have a team that's like on the cusp and you need a shot of adrenaline, bring Torts in. I mean, it's not the worst idea.
I think he could, but it sounds like he wants to be behind the bench all year next year.
That's kind of what the reporting is saying, that he wanted to be like a full-time coach.
Yeah, so Edmonton, looking at you, maybe not deal with the NHLPA investigation of Mike Babcock. Maybe this is the guy to use. Toronto just filled their vacancy here about the time the show started. They hired Jim Hiller, who was a Babcock assistant, ironically, but had just most recently coached the LA Kings. But it sounds like Torts wants to be behind the bench, and it also kind of sounds like Vegas had the plan of promoting Ryan Craig all along. As he was the coach of their AHL team. He'd been an assistant coach with Vegas since their inception. He's been with the organization. He retired as a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Basically, he was the captain for Cleveland in their Calder Cup run, and then the next year, and then he retired and went and joined Vegas's staff, and he's been with their AHL team the past couple of years. So it kind of sounds like that's a foregone conclusion that Ryan Craig is going to get that job. So Edmonton, Torts is available.
Yeah, maybe. One thing that's such an interesting trend you brought up. I didn't realize that backstory there on the coaching hire. What I think is you're starting to see more and more of that. Oklahoma City and San Antonio in the NBA, those guys coach G League affiliates, and then they elevate kind of into their philosophy. And it's probably going to happen here with the Blue Jackets, right? I mean, that feels like that's kind of how that's going to inevitably be. So, I mean, there's some sense to it. If you find somebody that you like, I mean, you could argue that the Blue Jackets maybe should have done that previously, but this is now becoming kind of the thought. is find a guy who does the things you like, have him be at the lower level, and then elevate much like a player would.
Well, it's interesting. The Blue Jackets kind of did that with Brad Larson.
Yeah.
And maybe that could have happened with Jared Bednar, but you ended up hiring Torts, and the rest is history. Bednar goes on to Colorado, and it sure seems like that's the plan, even though it hasn't been officially announced yet that Vogelhuber is joining Bonus's staff. It's sure all the reporting that he's going to be promoted. So,
are the Golden Knights being jerks here? Because Bruce Cassidy was fired back in March, but he's still under contract, and they've not allowed him to talk with the Kings or the Oilers.
I don't believe so, and here's why. So this happened to Vegas before with Peter DeBoer, and they let him go to Dallas, and then Dallas beat Vegas the next year in the playoffs, I believe, with DeBoer. So I'm thinking maybe, like, just say the Jackets didn't hire Bonus and they wanted to hire Bruce Cassidy. I'm guessing that Vegas would have said okay, because that's in the Eastern Conference, but they're not going to let him go to a Western Conference foe and beat them.
Yeah. I guess you're under contract. I mean, it's part of it. So that's the way that those things work out. All right, coming up in 2 minutes, you're tuning in a big, big way. And in addition to that, the last major in the United States will be played tomorrow out on Long Island on a course that is just diabolical. We will get to all of that coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Hey, Weekend Warriors, Austin Ward here. You want to know when your body starts talking back on a golf course? Cart path only. Suddenly your ball is 80 yards across the fairway. You're hiking over there with 3 clubs, and by the time you get to it, you're not thinking birdie. You're wondering if the course has an urgent care. And that's the point. It's not just the scorecard. It's the whole day. Walking 18 without feeling like you're in a survival show. Bending down to read a putt without making that noise. Getting home and still having enough left in the tank for the kids, the yard, the cooler, all of it. That's why Awaken 180 makes sense. It's a medication-free solution with weekly weight loss, support, and yes, free support for life. You may not fix your slice overnight, but drop 30, 40, even 50 pounds, and the game, plus life after the game, feels better. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. Make the call, 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Imagine taking your family on that dream vacation with a brand new 26 Chevy Equinox from McDaniel GM Superstore. Matty Ice here for McDaniel this month. Save up to $3,190 off or get an incredible 3.9% APR for 60 months. Prefer to lease, drive away in a new Equinox for as low as $249 a month for 36 months with just $3,998 due at signing. They're just off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or visit online at McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
Well, here's what's up, and this is an interesting one. I saw something this morning from on the social that there have been upwards of like 6 or 7 movies this year that have opened with $75 million at the box office. It's been a long time since they've had that type of success. I mean, the thinking was that movies were dying a little bit, and that our addiction to phones and streamers and home and all of these things had limited the way that we used to consume traditional media. But it seems that the theaters are having a little bit of a comeback, and I think the same thing is happening in sports. Mentioned the World Cup numbers, $28 million for Team USA on a Friday night at 9 o'clock in their opener. The NBA Finals did pretty damn good, too. The Knicks Game 5 win over the Spurs on Saturday night, which, again, is not a peak television viewing audience historically. Averaged 24.5 million viewers on ABC and ESPN, the most watched Game 5 since 1998. Yeah, that's Mike Jordan.
That's nuts
what that is.
To think about.
It's a long time. Now, some at Reese says it's a Game 5. You know, like typically those aren't clinchers, but yes,
sure.
it is. It is nuts
Jazz
to think
Bowls?
about.
you did numbers comparable to that is awesome for the association.
It is. And I guess we've seen this in the NHL. We saw this in the Olympics. We're seeing it in the World Cup. Maybe there is some hope for society that if you put a great product on, we will still consume it. And we've seen it. This has been something that for the longest time happened only in football, NFL, and college, where the ratings either stayed or continued to go up. And now it's happening in these other sports as well. And it's happening in the movie theaters and all of it. And it's a warm blanket for me because it's a reminder that if you make really good film, you put on a really good show athletically, that people still want to consume it. And the traditional ways of consumption are still there. And I've seen it with my boys, and they've been part of the people. They could not wait to watch the finals. They watched all of it. We had the Stanley Cup on. I miss it. I miss not having it on. I'm actually very thankful the World Cup is here because otherwise these nights would feel pretty empty. I mean, God forbid I had to watch baseball. So this has been nice, though, to see these numbers that we've had. We had good World Series numbers last year, too, with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. So this has been more than a trend, fellas, in terms of live sports and people coming back.
I think there's probably a couple of things in this. And you mentioned, I do believe the NBA is in a very strong place right now. I don't think for a while the NBA was in a great place, but I think it is right now. I think they've got some stars that they can kind of build around here. And obviously having New York in this helps tremendously. But I do think the emphasis that all of these media outlets are putting on sports now, you're not having them put millions of dollars into shows because it's just not worth it. They can throw a sports game on and get just as good or better numbers. So while the options are still there, they're maybe not new options or great options, quite frankly. So the best thing to put on right now is sports.
Yeah. Even the NHL, and obviously their numbers are nowhere near the NBA or anywhere near the World Cup or anything like that, but still averaging 5.2 million over the 6 games, the most watched final since 2019 for the Stanley Cup. So those are very solid numbers for them. In addition to that, they averaged about 2.2 million eyeballs throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs on the ESPN network. So that's a win for them as well. It gives you a reminder a little bit of where hockey kind of is in the pecking order nationally. And really throughout North America. So that's part of it, but at the very least, that's an improvement for them. And so that's very, very good to see. Have you guys ever been out on Long Island? Like the Hamptons, any of that area?
So not far enough to where I would consider it Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same. Not way, way out.
Because the UBS, it was the UBS Arena is where the Islanders played. That's the furthest.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you're
kind of
starting your way out there. Yeah,
it's a Long Island.
It takes forever. One of my best buddies from down in Florida. His dad was a really successful guy at Merrill Lynch, and his bachelor party was in New York, and we went to a Yankees game, and then we drove out to the Hamptons. They had a house out in East Hampton, actually right across the street from Donna Karan. So this was kind of the neighborhood that you were dealing with there. And so we went out there, and on his bachelor party, we played some golf course out there that we played. It was not Shinnecock Hills. It wasn't the National Golf Links. It wasn't Winged Foot or any of those other absurd places that are out there. But what you do is, as you're driving out there, you see these places, and Shinnecock is one that it's in Southampton. It's one that is an attention getter, to say the least. It's a stunning piece of property, and it's the juxtaposition to it. And Dave Shedloski is going to join us in a couple of minutes, but as my memory serves, there were like 3 elite, impossible to get on courses, like kind of all in this area that are kind of all right there. I think National Golf Links is there, and there might be one other one that's out there. So it's part of it. It's going to host the U.S. Open. It starts tomorrow. It's going to be diabolical. I mean, just simply put, it's going to be diabolical. They've even widened the fairways this year because otherwise it's borderline unfair. I was listening to Xander Schauffele yesterday in his press conference talk about it, and one of the things he said that seems like they've widened the fairways and the greens are going to be a little softer. And he said if they weren't, it's unplayable. And it's one of those things where I saw the guys like walking in for their practice rounds yesterday, and the PGA Tour put this out, and they said, what would a 15 handicap shoot here at Shinnecock this week? And the consensus was 125 is what they would probably shoot. Like, this is a diabolical test of golf. I don't particularly like the U.S. Open because I don't like these guys struggle. The struggle is not fun for me to watch. I don't want to see 2 over win. I know some people like it. It's just not my thing. I like this better than the PGA because right now the PGA feels like it has absolutely no brand, no identity or anything. So I guess it would be third on mine, but it's a distant third for me behind the Masters and the British Open. Distant third.
Yeah, usually there's some early excitement. But into the weekend, I can't remember. Might have been just because of Scheffler. What happened a couple of years ago where you really kind of locked in at this time of the year to the national championship? Is that what they're calling it?
I don't know. Are they? Are they trying to get a new name for it?
Some people may have, but I don't think if they're trying. I don't think it's sticking. If they're
clearly not
trying. I will say this. I like watching professional golfers struggle, but I also don't like when you hit good golf shots and you don't get rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Open at times has gotten a little out of hand with how they just make the course unplayable with stuff. If you hit a drive in the rough, I think there should be, a little bit of penalty. I don't know if you shouldn't be able to advance the ball at all. I saw a video of Bryson DeChambeau just dropping the ball and hit it like full swing, and it went like 5 yards, if that. It was nowhere. And I also don't like it when you hit a shot on a green in a good spot and it rolls forever, either back off the green or forward through the green. I don't like that. So I don't like when you do what you were supposed to do and you don't get rewarded for that. But I don't love seeing golf when it's 20 under par either. Like, I do like seeing them shoot, 5, 4, 3 under, stuff like that.
This is the place where Phil hit the ball as it was moving, right?
I think
Didn't he do that
right.
at Shinnecock? I think he did. I think this is the one where the ball didn't stop and then he just punted it. Pretty sure this is it.
Yeah, 2018 is a YouTube video. There's a couple YouTube videos.
Is that it? Yeah.
Phil hits moving ball.
So. Yeah, like he kind of just, this broke him. And that was it. By the way, this is, and we can play this Rory cut on the future of the PGA, maybe in Thing or Not a Thing, or a little bit later. We're not going to have time to get to it now with Dave coming up. But the other thing that is, speaking of Phil, no Phil, no Tiger. And I don't know either one has ever been further from the sport, let alone major championship golf. Like, Tiger's in Switzerland, right? Is that the latest report? He's in Switzerland in rehab. Phil got kicked out of his club in San Diego for doing something inappropriate to a lady who worked there. Like, can you imagine the threshold of what Phil Mickelson would have to do to get kicked out of a country club in San Diego?
They vaporized him from existence.
They went and got him on the course.
And to your point with that, we haven't heard anything about it. That's how far away from the limelight he is right now.
So Tiger's back home in Florida. He recently completed his 3-month stay at a rehab facility in Switzerland.
He was in Switzerland. Yeah. And then the Phil thing, I mean, that you just think about if you are a member at a country club or you are any sort of club that you're in, there are levels, right? There are people who are members and they're in, and then there's like the elite people get even a more preferential treatment. Like a lot of times you'll see you can book tee times online at a lot of these clubs except for certain times. Then you got to call the clubhouse because that means the pro has set up special tee times for a certain group of members who have probably had those tee times forever. That's usually the way that it works. The threshold for inappropriate that would get Phil Mickelson to get people from that club to go out on the course and remove him from the course, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's pretty egregious behavior that probably had him dead to rights. So that's kind of the backdrop of all of this as well, is those guys were all over the sport for 25 years, and they are gonzo in about as big as you can be. Dave Shedloski, he's been out there at Shinnecock. He'll give us some perspective on all of this in a couple of minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
What John Smiley, chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC. An equal housing lender.
Experience the adrenaline of Barrett Jackson in Columbus, June 25th to 27th at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fairgrounds. See hundreds of no-reserve collector cars cross the auction block and sell to the highest bidder. Take in the lively exhibitor marketplace. Engage with interactive sponsor displays and enjoy a wide selection of food and drink options. It's an exciting, high-octane event for fans of all ages. Advance tickets on sale now for the world's greatest collector car auctions at Barrett-Jackson.com.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Our experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. Ohio State Urgent Care. This is world-class care.
Guess which store is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and you'll get up to $180 off sets of Goodyear tires.
Oh man, what's their name?
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, Columbus, buy a new Ford at the same price of Ford employee pays. No markup, no haggling. Right now, Capital Ford of Columbus, get employee pricing on F-150s, Super Duties, Explorers, Mustangs, and more. Thousands in savings. This deal ends soon. Come to Capital Ford today, priced for you.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
T-Bone and Tyvus wake you up every weekday morning from 6 to 9, and I think I can sum up the show in 3 words. Football, food, and fun. Ain't that right, T-Bone?
And I get more volume per suck.
And there's only one thing that makes Tyvus happier than a free hair transplant.
All it took was legalizing the money you had to give to the players. And we are watching the demise of the SEC.
T-Bone and Tyvus, weekday morning starting at 6. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan. Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
126th U.S. Open tomorrow, Shinnecock Hills, Southampton, New York. We are joined now on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline by I'm going to name him our golf bureau chief. He's one of the best in the business. He's Dave Shedloski, Golf Digest, Memorial Memories. Talked to him in person a couple of weeks ago, now back over the phone. Dave, I was out that area once for a bachelor party, and in my mind's eye, Shinnecock it's not just that, but there's several elite ones like all in that same area. Am I remembering that correct?
You are. National Golf Links is there, Southampton Golf Club, Sabonic. It's just a sweet spot for golf, and of course, right on the coast there, it just feels like the birth of golf almost out there.
It does. It's pretty cool. I can't remember the one I played. It certainly was not Shinnecock. I assure you of that. This is the place where Phil hit the putt that was moving on the green, and that was in 2018. What is it that makes this place so diabolical? And is it that way all the time, or does it just when the USGA gets their hands on it?
No, it really kind of is difficult all the time. It's a sand-based golf course there on the coast. You get a lot of wind. You will get wind that will change direction as well as strength throughout the day. And look, it's probably the hardest U.S. Open setup to get right because of those factors. This year they're going to have the fairways a little bit wider. They're hoping to slow the greens down. But look, in normal play at Shinnecock throughout the day, those guys, meaning the staff that takes care of the golf course, they will water the golf course in the middle of the day. So if they do that if they do that for just regular play, why wouldn't they do it for a U.S. Open, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that's the thing. And you've covered a lot of these U.S. Opens, Dave. I don't particularly enjoy the U.S. Open because I just hate to see the struggle of it. I know it works for some people. For me, that it feels so tough. I think of the Oakmont Championships, the previous ones at Shinnecock. It just seems like so brutal for these guys to play, and so it's not my favorite major. But from the USGA standpoint, if you were to ask the folks ahead of it, what is your objective? I ask that to you. What is their objective with the U.S. Open?
Well, famously, there was Frank Anigan way back in the day when there was talk about the USGA trying to embarrass the players, and his response was, we're not trying to embarrass the players. We're trying to identify the best ones. So that's how they justify making the golf course as difficult as that's how they try to identify the best player. I remember in 2000 when Jack Nicklaus played in his final U.S. Open, he said that the U.S. Open will make a man out of you more than any other tournament. It's supposed to be tough. Now, does it go over the edge? I think the Shinnecock is going to be this is going to be one of the most studied course setups that we've ever seen in a U.S. Open because of 2004 when it was really unplayable the last day. And then 2018 when you mentioned Phil Mickelson hitting the putt as it's moving on the 13th green, somewhat to speed up play, somewhat to make a point that you guys have lost the golf course. I'm not sure they did, but it certainly was it was close to over the edge.
Here are the winning scores at Shinnecock. I know you know this, Dave, but just for our audience, Raymond Floyd 1 under, Corey Pavin in 1995 even, Retief Goosen in 04 was 4 under, and then Koepka +1 last time out in 2018.
I think +1's just a perfectly fine winning score. Mm-hmm. I mean that should be around par if they get it right. We've seen some +6s in U.S. Opens of recent time too. It's going to be a tough day, or I should say a tough week for them. And I still think they're going to shoot under par. Somebody's going to do it because there's always some knucklehead who just gets it in his mind that I can handle these conditions. I'm going to make a few putts I'm not supposed to. I might chip in once, might get lucky on a couple other shots, and then he ends up 1 or 2 under and wins the tournament. I mean, Retief Goosen, 11 putts in that final round when he shot 71, 1 over par in ridiculously hard conditions. But 11 putts, that's how you win the U.S. Open.
Yeah, it is. Talking to the great Dave Shedloski, Golf Digest, Memorial Memories. In terms of, we saw all of these guys a couple of weeks ago at Jack's Place. Who did you kind of like the look of where their game was? And having been to Shinnecock as you have, who kind of fits there in terms of their game? And who do you like this week?
Well, there really is a couple of guys you have to like, and of course I put Tommy Fleetwood at the top of the list. He shot 63 there in 2018, the last day at Shinnecock. He looked pretty good at Jack's place. Muirfield Village was like a U.S. Open pretty much almost every day except the last one, and he didn't have a great finish to the Canadian. But I think sometimes you sort of look ahead, and if you're not quite in the tournament, you don't have that vibe of like, do I really care if I win this week when I'm playing well enough? I know. So I really like Tommy Fleetwood. And of course, people are always going to say, oh, well, Scotty Scheffler. Well, duh. But I think that Rory McIlroy is looking very good for this tournament, the way he finished off the final day at Muirfield Village. And he loves Shinnecock. And he wants to win at historic places. That's his goal for the rest of his career. And there's probably not too many that are better than Shinnecock to win.
No, certainly not. The other thing that's part of this, and it's brought up because, in 18, Phil on 13, as you mentioned, hitting the ball as it's moving. Dave, I was thinking about this. Is this the furthest away Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson have been from golf, and for different reasons? Tiger in rehab and now out of it, and Phil got thrown out of his country club in San Diego. Like, those guys were kind of the faces of golf for a quarter century or better, and not only are they not there, but they are so far from the sport. Where does that land for you?
Well, when they didn't play in the Masters, that was sort of, one of the, we've definitely moved on moments here in the golf, in this era of golf. No Phil or Tiger for the first time, I think, in a quarter century at Augusta National. So, to not see them now for the third straight major, golf has moved on. We have some really compelling players. I mean, are they going to be as compelling as Tiger and Phil? I mean, that was a pretty good era, just those two guys. So that's hard to copy, just as it was hard to copy Arnold and Jack. But we see guys move in through the years, and we have some great players in this era. And I mean, it's not that we're going to forget them, but we're going to look at them. We're starting to look at them differently in a more, I guess, just thinking about them almost in terms of just memory, as opposed to who they are, as opposed to who they were. And there's nostalgia. That was kind of the word I was looking for. We're looking at them more nostalgically.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. I'll get you out of here on this one, buddy. A 10 handicap walks to the tee at Shinnecock tomorrow and is on the back tees.
I'm 10.1, so I can answer
okay, so you walk to the tee. This is perfect then. You walk to the tee,
Yes.
number one at Shinnecock, and you're playing the back tees. What score are you happy with?
Oh, well, I mean, anything around 100 would be phenomenal. I'm probably happy if I'm in the 120 area. I swear to God, it's going to be that hard because, you're talking about a course that's almost 7,400 yards. I mean, there's some brutal rough just off of the fairway, and then there's even high fescue off of that if you miss it even a little bit more. I mean, and then, your greens are running 10 or 11, and, are you going to have – hey, look, I played Shinnecock in 2018 for the media day, and I played just normal tees and shot 90, and that was pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, I try to tell people all the time, if you go play Muirfield Village, you won't believe how difficult it is. Even just a normal day, not a tournament setup day, you're not going to break 100 if you're in a certain category. You think you're halfway decent. It's just not going to happen.
No, I agree with you. Having done it, I co-sign that. Appreciate you as always, my friend. Thanks for your time.
Well, thanks so much. Hey, take care.
There he goes, Dave Shedloski. Golf Digest, of course, Memorial Memories, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get a little higher, lower. Hour number 2 coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tyvis here for Tri-State Men's Health. Remember that first time you failed to perform in the bedroom? You probably just laughed it off. No big deal. But then it happened again. Performance matters in intimate moments, so don't let ED get in the way. With one visit to Tri-State, you may be surprised by how the right treatment can improve your love life. Call them today at 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com. ED is the thief of the moment. When you're getting intimate with your partner and you aren't able to perform the way you want to, that can be really frustrating. But at Tri-State, they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can have you last an hour or more. Schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a TMPSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call them today at 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
Oh my, do I have World Cup fever. Scotty Vegas here, and the next Team USA game is Friday at 3 o'clock. So let's play some hooky from work and meet up at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. We have contests, games, and huge prizes to give away. Wear your red, white, and blue. Watch the game on the best screen in Columbus. Pro tip, order the soft pretzel. It's the size of a soccer ball and delicious. See you Friday at 3 at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, happy Father's Day month.
You know what, Jerry? I grew up with a single mom, so it's always been important to me to be the best dad I could be.
You install air conditioners in people's homes, Aaron. That literally makes you the cool dad. Get it?
Get Eco.
ECO.
Did you just call a guy with an HVAC company a cool dad? That really is a dad joke.
Get Eco.
ECO. A cool dad like you can install a new air conditioner that makes the whole family cool.
Well, a really cool dad would repair the air conditioner they have.
And leave more money for Father's Day presents.
With our AC Repair Buyback program, we'll even credit you any money you spend on the repairs against the purchase of a new system, if you change your mind and replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hypothetically, Aaron, what does a guy like yourself look for in a necktie?
I don't wear ties, Jerry, and I'm certainly not your dad.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and cool dad HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible. But Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Scotty Vegas here, and my wife caught me in the garage just staring at my beautiful new Bronco from Krieger Ford. I mean, I'm in love. The buying process at Krieger Ford was amazing. Quick, no pressure, fun, in and out so fast I couldn't believe it. I was prepared to spend all day looking at cars. Instead, I got my shiny new red Bronco out of the showroom in no time. If you're looking for a new car for the summer, visit Krieger Ford on Morse Road. Krieger Ford is my winning bet. Visit KriegerFord.com today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Hey, it's Bo Bishop here. If you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time at RCD RV. They've got over 850 RVs in stock, motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers from trusted brands like Cougar, Georgetown, Springdale, Forest River, and Salem. Trade values are sky high right now, and every RV purchase from RCD RV comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. This limited time event ends June 27th, so don't wait. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Morning, I'm Eric Reeser. Major League Baseball's All-Star break is July 13th through the 16th. The All-Star Games in Philly this year. The Guardians will have to go at least the next month without seven-time All-Star Jose Ramirez. He had surgery Tuesday to fix a broken left hand. It's only the second time for Ramirez on the IL. He broke a bone in his right hand back in 2019. Guardians dropped the first of a three-game set last night in Milwaukee, falling to the Brewers 3-2. Both teams are back at it tonight at 7:40. As for the Reds, Cincinnati looks to break out the brooms on the Mets. Redlegs have won the first two in the series by a combined score of 17-3. Wednesday's first pitch from Great American's 12:40. In the NHL, the Maple Leafs have named Jim Miller their new head coach. Miller was fired by the Kings back in March, but had Los Angeles in the postseason 2 years in a row. Las Vegas says they will not bring back John Tortorella. The Golden Knights went on a run to the Stanley Cup Finals, but fell to the Hurricanes. Carolina is going to hold their championship parade on Saturday. This update is sponsored by RCDRV Supercenter, rcdrv.com.
Reeser's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
28 minutes from now, Dane Brugler of The Athletic on Brendan Sorsby. If the Browns should potentially be interested in that, perhaps the Steelers as well. Also asking about Julian Sayin and the way that he is being perceived heading into his second year as the starter on campus. We kick off the hour with a little higher lower. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Got a little button happy there.
So good.
I'm going to do a show prep pivot as I had higher or lower coming from The Athletic.
Okay.
They had two of their college football writers pick a preseason top 25 against an algorithm.
Okay.
But then kind of failed to inform readers what the data was for the algorithm. So I'm going to shove the nerds in the locker and go to ESPN, who yesterday released a 2026 college football top 25 with the headline, "How far does Texas Tech fall without Sorsby?"
Ah.
So same, but different.
Okay.
At number 1, the Ohio State Buckeyes. At number 2, the Oregon Ducks. At 3, the Georgia Bulldogs. Higher or lower for Georgia at 3?
So Big Ten pride there off the top. That's pretty good to see. You can make an argument for either Ohio State or Oregon. To me, those two in Notre Dame, you can make an argument. I'm not sure where. Oh, there they are. I see. Any of those three, I feel like are going to pick up a lot of number one votes in a lot of this preseason stuff. But I do think, and I said this yesterday in The Real Truth, I do think that Ohio State is going to be the consensus one. So that's 70% of these are going to have the Buckeyes number one. They're number one on this list. I think Georgia, this ain't old Georgia, man. It just isn't. They just don't have the overwhelming depth of talent. And my hunch is that the thinking here was, look, Gunnar Stockton is back. Okay, but is that even a good thing? I don't know that he's not an elevator of anything. And when they've had quarterbacks like this in the past, they're usually absolutely elite defensively, have great running game and all of those things. They did okay in the portal. So I think it's lower. I think Georgia should be lower. I don't think Georgia should be the number one even SEC team, let alone this high on these rankings.
Yeah, I think you just took it, said what I was going to say right there at the end, Bo. I don't think they're better than Texas, quite frankly. Texas did a much better job in the portal. I think the Texas roster is better, and I also believe Arch is probably better than Gunnar Stockton, too.
Yeah,
I don't believe in Sark, not one bit. But I do think that Texas should be higher than Georgia. I would have Georgia lower.
This preseason rankings is brought to you by ESPN's Mark Schlabach, who's got Notre Dame at 4, Texas at 5, like you mentioned, Indiana's at 6, Miami 7, Ole Miss 8, Texas A&M at 9, LSU at 10. Higher or lower for the Tigers at 10?
So I have a little bit more, and this is a controversial take, and certainly one with our guest tomorrow at 10:30, Mr. Feinbaum. I have a little bit more compassion for most of the situation that Lane Kiffin was in, and some of it he put in by himself, but a lot of it had to do with just how obtuse the calendar is in college football. I think LSU is going to be really good. I think he's a really good game plan. I think he's a really good game planner. I think he's a really good play caller. I think their offense is going to be massively elevated. Their roster is loaded. And he's kind of a football mercenary, and I think that his roster is full of football mercenaries, so my guess is that's all going to work out just fine. I think Sam Leavitt's a hell of a quarterback. They got him from Arizona State. I think LSU, it would not surprise me at all if LSU won the SEC, and I do think that they're better than Texas A&M. I do think that they are better than Georgia, and certainly better than Ole Miss. You had Ole Miss 8. I think a lot of the magic with Ole Miss was in the guy calling the plays. So I think LSU I would have LSU higher than Ole Miss and Texas A&M. I would have them behind Texas and ahead of Georgia probably too.
I think I would have LSU a little higher, not too much higher though. I think they're better than Texas A&M. The Ole Miss one is interesting to me because I think Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey in the backfield are still going to be pretty good. So this is pretty close for LSU, higher, just a notch higher.
I'll tell you another one that's interesting. Where do you think we are with Indiana? It's a massive turnover, man. I mean, I'm not going to doubt Cignetti, clearly. We've learned our lesson.
It's pretty simple. I win.
I guess he does. It's true. But like Josh Hoover never really wowed me last year at TCU. They did get Nick Marsh from Michigan State, and that'll help. They were good in the portal, but, I mean, that's a lot of respect there at 6. And I guess they've earned it.
I think that's what it is to me. I think they've earned it, and I think I believe in Cignetti enough that they should be right around the top 5 there. Josh Hoover maybe wasn't great at TCU, but he won pretty good at Indiana with Curtis Rourke. And I don't think anybody, when they brought Curtis Rourke in from Ohio outside of Reese, was like, that guy's a dude.
Probably fair.
He's identified really good talent, and it's tough to doubt him. I just look at where Indiana is just real quick, and I see the teams under them, and I go, they've just got more questions.
Yeah.
So not to say Indiana doesn't have their fair share. I just feel like with Marcel Reed and Texas A&M, with the players that the Aggies lost, LSU, talked about the mercenaries. So many more questions, I think, than Indiana, and you also get the Cignetti and national championship bump. So Mark Schlabach, when he did his last set of power rankings before yesterday, he had Texas Tech at 8. The Red Raiders dropped to 11 with the Sorsby News official. At 12's BYU, at 13's Oklahoma, at 14's Michigan, at 15 Penn State. Higher or lower for the Nittany Lions there?
So Will Hammond is the quarterback now at Texas Tech, and so he was their quarterback last year before when Baron Morton got hurt. When did he play?
So Hammond tore his ACL at the week 3, I want to say.
It looks like October 25th. Was hurt in a 42-0 rout of Oklahoma State, it says here. But I'm wondering so he was the backup to Baron Morton? And so they liked a little bit. So now he'll be thrust into that action a little bit, I guess, is the way that goes. Do you have the answer to that, Vic?
I don't have the answer, but Will Hammond had a pretty good pedigree. And I want to say he was I forget how this was. I want to say he played a little bit the year before last, too. He started some games because of injury. Or he was their quarterback over Baron Morton. And then Baron Morton took I don't remember exactly how it was, but I want to say he's played a little bit in 2 years.
He has. Yeah, I'm just pulled it up right now. He 57 attempts as a true freshman in 2024, and then 109 attempts last year as the backup to Morton, but he was 7 touchdowns, 3 picks before he got hurt. So he's been their guy. They've developed him, and that makes a little bit of sense. You asked about Penn State. I have no idea. Have we looked up, like, the Penn State futures? Because their schedule is a complete cakewalk. And, so to say, is Penn State, okay, so they're better than Michigan. They're going to be better than Michigan, I think, because he's basically got Iowa State is what he's got. And I think Michigan's got a lot of work to do with their operation. Michigan might be more overall talented, but I think that is a kind of a mismatch with Whittingham coaching a bunch of guys he didn't recruit. So I would probably have Penn State slightly higher, Michigan slightly lower. Oklahoma's too low on this list too. I would probably have Oklahoma closer to 10-ish, somewhere in there. I'd probably have the Sooners in there. Johnny Mateer's back, by the way.
So with Penn State, do I think they're the 15th best team in the country? No, I do not. Do I think they're going to be ranked about 15th when it's all said and done? Yes, probably, because their schedule is laughable.
It's bad,
they play USC at home, and then they go to Michigan in back-to-back weeks. That's it. That's all of it.
Yeah.
They don't play anybody outside of those two games. So Penn State is going to end up around 15th, but they're probably somewhere down around 20 to 25 as far as what they are as a football team, but they don't. Charmin soft this year for the Nittany Lions.
He needs to make the playoff with that schedule.
We'll round out the top 25 here of ESPN's most recent college football power rankings. At 16, the Alabama Crimson Tide. At 17, Washington. 18's Utah. 19's Iowa. 20, USC. I'll go 21 real quick just because we might know the quarterback. Louisville. Higher or lower for the Cardinals at 21?
Where are the beloved ponies?
Scrolling. 22.
Okay. Well, the beloved ponies are going to be pretty good, so they need to go up on this.
A lot of Texas between 20 and 25. You got SMU, TCU, Houston, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah, a lot of money. A lot of money in those places. They got great rosters. I think this is about right for Louisville. I think it's about right. I'd have to look at their schedule to see, but talent-wise, they're good. They've got a lot of money, too, and they threw it around. I hope Lincoln balls out there. I hope he's awesome. He's the easiest kid ever to root for, and it seems like he's loving life in Louisville. What's not to love? So, yeah, you go slightly higher just for the bias.
So Louisville, by the way, starts out with Ole Miss. Then it's Villanova, SMU. So two pretty tough games right off the rip there. Then their schedule gets pretty easy at Georgia Tech, Pitt, and at Kentucky to wrap it up, but it's not too difficult. I would have LSU probably a little lower, even though I hope this is right, because I hope Lincoln Keyholes goes there and does well. USC, Bo, you know I am not as high on USC as some people are. I do think 20th is a little low for them. They should be a little higher than this. Like, I believe they're a better team than Penn State.
They are, I agree.
So they should be ranked a little higher. Now, I don't think this is Lincoln Riley's savior year, but they're going to be better than 20th.
I think they're better than Michigan, too. I would have them much higher than they are at number 20. I'd have them ahead of Iowa as well. By the way, an early lean, I like Louisville beating Ole Miss in that opener.
Ooh.
I like them doing it. I think that they could. One other thing that we just breeze past, and it's just like now where they are, Alabama 16. I mean, the sport was set to them for a decade, and now we're to the point where like they're 16 and nobody even bats an eye.
Kalen DeBoer better hope they're better.
I'll tell you what, they better be careful, because if they run Kalen DeBoer, they're going to see just how brutal that job got in a hurry. Because you want to talk about Netflix-style fundraising, that's Alabama. They don't have the money. They do not. And Saban was smart enough to get out when he did. One program that does and is returning its quarterback is the team that was number one on that list. But why is Julian Sayin suffering so many slings and arrows heading into the season? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and summer's here, and it's time to upgrade your ride at Germain Toyota. Whether you're heading to the lake, the ballpark, or your next family road trip, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra is built for every adventure. Right now, get 0% APR financing for up to 60 months on the 2026 Tundra with vehicles sold sold at MSRP. That's legendary Toyota quality, power, and capability with an incredible summer offer. Visit Germain Toyota at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota, your summer starts here. See dealer for details.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Some things shouldn't change. The smell of coffee on a Saturday morning, a handshake that actually means something, a neighbor you can count on. For more than 30 years, Newman Roofing has been a part of this community, and this community has been a part of us. We're family-owned, locally operated, and proud to serve the same neighborhoods we live in ourselves. Every roof we install is built to last. Every home we step into, we treat like our own. Every family we serve, we treat with respect. That's the Newman way. And along the way, more than 1,200 homeowners have trusted us enough to leave 5-star reviews. To us, that says one thing. Treating people right never goes out of style, because excellent customer service isn't a thing of the past. It's our promise to keep doing things the right way. 3 decades, one family, a whole lot of neighbors who have become friends. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Call today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you want and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, foreclosures, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Call today and speak with me, John Kozik, for an all-cash offer and the help you need. At 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000, TurboTrackRealty.com.
Rothman and Ice.
Can't go in dry like that.
Some people do.
No, that's not good.
3 consecutive drops right there. back to back to back by you 3.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have some more clouds around for the afternoon. Also watching for maybe a few scattered thunderstorms developing mainly northwest of I-71 after 4 or 5 this afternoon. Lower 80s for a high. More widespread thunderstorms are likely in the overnight hours. Few of those could be strong to severe as they move through after midnight. Gusty winds and heavy rain. For Thursday, partly cloudy skies and very breezy, lower 80s. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. They'll take care of you. Sawmill, Easton, I assure you of that. A lot of folks not taking care of Julian Sayin. We saw this earlier in the week in the Skull session, and worth a little bit of a dialogue here. Matt Miller, Jordan Reed, 2 ESPN draft experts. Neither one has Julian Sayin as a top 5 quarterback prospect in next year's NFL draft, which, by the way, might be kind of good for us because then maybe you could have him as a 3-year starter. We'll see. I think the other part of this would be if Julian Sayin isn't a top 5 quarterback in college football, can Ohio State win the national championship? And that could be a topic for another day as well. Miller's top 5 were Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Drew Mastemaker. He's the kid who is, I think, at North Texas and then went with his coach to Oklahoma State. Then C.J. Carr at Notre Dame, then Darian Mensah. He's the kid who was at originally Tulane to Duke to Miami now. He's with the Canes. And then for Jordan Reed, it was Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Darian Mensah, C.J. Carr, and Drew Mastemaker. So they both had some groupthink here. They both had the same top 5 in terms of that. The thing that I think on that Julian suffers from, number one, for whatever reason, people think he's smaller than he is. I think people think he's like Bryce Young size, like he's like 5'11", and he's not. I don't know if he's just baby-faced or what it is, but I think people think he's younger, smaller than he actually is. So I think that's part of it. I think the other thing that's part of it is there's an Ohio State tax at the quarterback position that has to be acknowledged. And the tax is you have an incredible scheme and you throw to the best receivers in the country. And there's a tax that comes with that here. And the reason that tax is there is because, with the exception of CJ's rookie year, we haven't had a quarterback who has played here excel for a long period of time in the NFL. We just haven't done that yet. Now, I think Julian has all the traits that the NFL would love: the accuracy, the arm strength, all of it. You could question, some people will say, well, does he have enough arm strength? Yeah, I think he probably does. I think he's got plenty of arm strength. I think he's incredibly anticipatory as a thrower and incredibly accurate. We saw that last year when he damn near set the NCAA record for completion percentage in his first year as a starter, ended up at 77%. Then the third thing that I think harms him is, offensively, the last two times we saw Ohio State play, they weren't great. And he did not have his best games. I thought he was damn good in the rivalry game. And that one was part of it. But those last two memories that we have are Indiana and Miami. And in those games, he was not elite the way that potentially that we all expected him to be. So I think all of those factors are kind of leading into this dialogue around him. Do I think it's gone too far? Yeah, I sure as heck do. I do think that he is certainly, if you want to put him behind Arch and Dante Moore, I guess fine. I have a hard time believing that anybody in the country, if you said pick a quarterback, would take Mensa or CJ Carr or Drew Mastamaker over him. I don't buy that for a second. I think he would probably be, if you're redrafting college football quarterbacks, I think he'd go at worst third overall on any of those lists.
And I think if you polled 10 people and you asked them to do that exercise, they would pick who they pick. And you say, what about Julian? Like, oh, yeah, that's right. Just in terms of an oversight, because he's the second most popular player on offense. And then last year he was the third or fourth most known player on his team. Yeah. And I do think there is some recency bias, like you had mentioned the last two games. He just didn't handle the rush well. He didn't make enough plays with his legs. He is the quarterback, so a pick six gets put on the quarterback. And so there's a lot of people that say, well, of course he's good. He's Ohio State's quarterback. He's always going to have talent around him. And to the size, it's like he's slight. But he was slight. Mm-hmm. No longer is the case. So I think all of that has to do with this time of the year, especially you're thinking about 2027 and what could be an NFL draft. You overlook great college quarterback play, because are we still, and I look at the ESPN article that you referenced, still talking about Lenoris Sellers?
Oh, gosh.
We're doing that?
Yeah.
You sure? Sure we want to be doing that again.
Yeah, I know.
But so much of what you said is true, and it's kind of crazy to me that, well, he throws to really good receivers. Well, those are the guys he'll be throwing to in the pros.
Yeah, they'll be good.
And so do the other quarterbacks. Like, they don't have bums.
But I also understand, like, those receivers aren't going against probably all the time the quality defensive back that they'll be going against in the pros either, but it's still those same guys. And as you mentioned, Arch Manning throws to really good guys, and Arch Manning wasn't nearly as good as Julian was on the field last year. In fact, Julian beat Arch Manning.
And
head
was
to
better.
head. Now, I know there's the team aspect, but yes, and he was better in that game. As we mentioned, they could have put a lot more on his plate. Also, of all these guys we're talking about here, Julian Sayin is the only one last year who was in the top 10 of yards, average per throw, touchdowns, quarterback rating, which he was number one, completion percentage, or quarterback rating, I'm sorry, he was number 3 last year.
In terms of guys who played all the time, it was just Mendoza.
Just Mendoza, okay.
Yeah.
completion percentage, he was number one. You mentioned almost set a record. And, he was one of the least sacked of those guys and threw some of the least amount of interceptions as well. So he's the only one that's in the top 10 of all of those.
It's so crazy because, C.J. Carr's on all of these lists. I'm going to give you C.J. Carr against ranked opponents. They played 4 ranked opponents last year at Notre Dame. I think C.J. Carr's a really nice player. I'm not doing this to disparage, but he's like universally given the green light where Julian is held to a different standard. And so here against Miami in the opener, CJ they lost. He went 19 of 30, 221, 63% completions, 2 touchdowns and a pick. The next week they lose against Texas A&M. He goes 20 of 32, 293, a touchdown and a pick, a completion percentage of 62.5. The next time they played a ranked team, they did beat USC. He was 16 of 26 for 136, 61.5 completions, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. The only other ranked game he had last year was 21 of 32, 212, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks against Pitt. That's it. Like, what is it in CJ that would have him universally on these lists and then Julian not? That part I don't understand. The Master stuff, I just think people are trying to sound cool. Like, there's no way that, like...
Every year it's the same thing, right? They find somebody that, he's got great measurables, and he did well at this one place, and we're going to project that out into 2026. And it's like, good luck with that exercise.
If he went 9-2 with North Texas, he's got to be good.
Right. So then I was curious about Mensa, who's the Miami quarterback, and he's on this list, and him last year in ranked games. He played Illinois 23 of 34, 334, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They played Georgia Tech. They lost. He was 32 of 44, 373, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So pretty good. They only played 2 more ranked teams. It was twice they played UVA. They lost to Virginia at home, 18 of 35, 213, a touchdown, no picks, and they beat UVA in the ACC title game. He went 19 of 25, 196, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So everyone is held to a different standard to me than Julian. I think it's the Ohio State tax, and then I think it's the memory of the last 2 games where he wasn't at his best. Because it can't be anything more than that.
I agree totally, Bo. And you just played that game, by the way, with Julian Sayin and these guys. Our friend Dalton Wasserman played that game with Brendan Sorsby.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are staggering.
The ranked game stuff?
The above,
the big time
the
games?
Teams under 500 versus teams above 500 last year. It's ridiculous, the difference in Sorsby. And he also goes as far to say, outside of the 6 great games that Sorsby had in his career, he's 7-18 as a starter, and the numbers aren't good.
So, you know who's going to have all of this locked in is our next guest, Dane Brugler. He's the author of The Beast. It's the Bible when it comes to the NFL draft. He's already working on it for next year. He'll join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hey, it's Bo Bishop here. If you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time at RCD RV. They've got over 850 RVs in stock. Motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers from trusted brands like Cougar, Georgetown, Springdale, Forest River, and Salem. Trade values are sky high right now, and every RV purchase from RCD RV comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. This limited time event ends June 27th, so don't wait. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, I think he's the smartest guy on the planet when it comes to the NFL draft. He publishes The Beast every single spring. He is NFL draft expert Dane Brugler. He's at The Athletic, and he joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dane, great to have you, buddy, and good to talk to you. We were having a conversation about Julian and kind of where he sits, and certainly do not believe that you've done all the work on him yet. You got a whole year to be able to do it. And by the way, Julian's got another year of football to be able to kind of represent who he is and how he's grown as a football player. But one of the things that we're seeing consistently is a lot of folks don't have him in their preliminary top 5 quarterbacks for next year. What are we missing with him, and where do you have him?
Well, yeah, and I think that what you said there is key. Is Julian can be drafted. It's just assume for a minute here he's going to be in the 2027 draft class. He'll be drafted based off of the 2026 tape, not the 2025 tape, and so that's a key part of this. Something that hasn't happened yet. But I think that, last year being a first-year starter, you see why he was such a high recruit. The accuracy, the composure that he plays with, working through his reads. But there's also, I think, elements of, especially later in the year, going up against Indiana on that tape, going up against in the playoff against Miami, especially when he was pressured. He seemed to predetermine some of his decisions. His ability to negotiate the rush and find those second chance throws, second chance opportunities, that was inconsistent for him. And that's a big part of playing quarterback at the NFL level. It doesn't always go according to plan. I mean, you have to be able to react to what's happening, adjust, work off platform. And I just don't think he did that consistently or enough that I think you're in a spot where you're thinking, all right, this is definitely a top 10 pick. Definitely someone's going to come in and be the future of your franchise at some point. And so that's the biggest thing I want to see. He's not the biggest guy. He's probably 6'1", 207, somewhere around there. But and he's never going to be a big-time athlete. He's a fine athlete, probably a 4'7" type of athlete. But it's more about the when you have a pressure in your face, can you make him miss, adjust, reset your feet, reset your eyes, make a strike throw? We know what he can do in structure. It's the out of structure things that I think that's where scouts want to see from him the most this upcoming season.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about him is now this schedule this year, he's going to get tested in a way that maybe last year didn't. He had such the guardrails on against Texas in that first game, and I think they probably could have given him more last year in the opener, and I think he would have handled it fine, but it was really guardrailed. This schedule is going to be massive, and so the thing that's a challenge, I would think, for him, Dane, and this is where your expertise comes into play, how many off-structure stuff does he have throughout the year because things go so well for them offensively? So it's almost like an Ohio State tax that if it's 3 or 4 times a year where you have to elevate, can you?
Yeah, well, and it's tough to do this with quarterbacks when you have to separate them from the offense, separate them from the supporting cast. We did this with we did this with Joe Burrow. Whoa, he's playing with Jamar Chase, and he's playing with, all these LSU receivers, and we've done it with past Ohio State quarterbacks in terms of, well, what do you expect? And he's throwing to these type of receivers, and so it's the same thing with an offense. You have to try and divorce the quarterback from the offense and just scout him independently as a player, and so it'll be really interesting because I think you make a good point about this year's schedule and, going to Texas, and can Ohio State get the revenge against Indiana? The schedule is going to be a little bit tougher this year. But at the same time, Sayin has the number one player in the country to throw to in Jeremiah Smith. I think there's some exciting things about what this offense could look like with the offensive line being more of a veteran group. And, I think there's a couple draft picks on that line. There's a lot of things about, where the offense is taking a step forward, even though you lose a Carnell Tate and you lose some key pieces, a tight end and just the overall offense from last year. But you think about what another year with this offensive line, this quarterback, and I think just where and the play calling as well. I mean, that's going to be a little bit different this season. So I think there's some unknowns about what it's going to look like, and with a tough schedule, that's a little bit daunting. But I think Sayin's the type of guy that he just seems unflappable. Like not too much is going to overwhelm him, and so very eager to see how that manifests itself on the field.
Is there anything you need to see from Jeremiah Smith?
Just don't get hurt. Just stay healthy. Right. That's all I want to see. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the best players I've ever evaluated. I mean, plain and simple. And I've been doing this for a long time. I think when you talk to scouts and the comps that come up are Larry Fitzgerald and Andre Johnson, and I mean these are Hall of Famers. And you hate to put that on a college player who is still not draft eligible until after this year, but that's the type of ability, 6'3", over 225 pounds. He's going to run probably, if I had to guess what he's going to run in the 40, it'd probably be 4.38 to 4.41 type of range. That's crazy for a guy that size. I mean, that's Calvin Johnson type of stuff. So to have that ability to have the physical traits, but then also what he does at the catch point is probably the most impressive thing about his game. How the focus, the physicality, the routes are outstanding. So there's just, you can nitpick him here and there, but it's tough to do that. He's a total package.
Talking to the great Dane Brugler, NFL draft expert at The Athletic, author of The Beast, which is your must-have guide to the NFL draft every single spring. Dane, the big story this week is Brendan Sorsby. The thinking is, talking to some NFL folks, first-round talent, first-round arm. A lot of people wanted to see him play at Texas Tech. We're not going to get that opportunity. Where do you see him? Where would he have been for you in the 2026 NFL draft had he declared then?
Yeah, I think he would have been quarterback 3 behind Mendoza and Simpson, who both ended up going top 15. And, I think that based off of just the tape and where he is in his development, he's a day 2 guy. And nothing on the field has happened since December, right? Now, off field, plenty has happened. And that's what makes this an unprecedented situation, just the gambling aspect. And we just haven't seen an example like this before, especially for a quarterback. So you factor in, he's going to miss all of OTAs. He's going to miss all of mini camps. Most teams already have their quarterback depth chart set 1 through 3, 1 through 4. And so, and then, of course, we have the time crunch where teams have to get really comfortable with the person between now and – the supplemental drafts, they haven't set a date exactly. It's going to be sometime mid to late July. So say, there's 5 weeks between now and when the supplemental draft is. Teams have a short window to get really, really comfortable with a guy who has a lot of question marks. And, is he remorseful? Is he, where is he in his recovery? Is this something that we're going to have to worry about long term? Is it going to be truly ongoing, or is this a young kid who made a couple, not even a couple bad decisions, a lot of bad decisions? The amount of money that he has wagered over the last 3-4 years is kind of crazy. So a lot of question marks off the field, but on the field, yeah, he's a really talented player. There's no question about that. He's a hair under 6'3", 235 pounds, probably going to run in the 4.6s. He's a really good athlete. So, and that's kind of the best stuff that he does is off platform, where he can get on the move and show off the legs, show off the arm. He could put the ball anywhere he wants on the field. He's very loose with his mechanics, and especially his footwork. It's all over the place, and that affects his accuracy and his ball placement. So, and then you also look at the offense that he was coming from at Cincinnati. It really restricted him in terms of his development. Show me the tape where he's making checks at the line or setting protections. Show me the tape where he's getting to that third read, backside read. It's not what that offense asked him to do. So I think that it is fair to say with a strong after transferring to Texas Tech, a strong senior year where he was able to develop and work on some of those things and show he could do it, take a step forward in terms of his consistency as a more mechanical thrower and with his accuracy. Yeah, he absolutely could have gotten into that first round, top 20 pick type of thing. But now we don't have that. He's not going to have that opportunity. So a lot of those areas remain a projection. And when you factor in, he's probably going to have to take a redshirt year this season. That's tough, especially with the gambling cloud hanging over him. So I think based on talent, a team would feel comfortable drafting him in the second round. But with all these questions, the projection, I think third, fourth round is probably the more realistic spot. But like I said, this is an unprecedented situation that I think teams are just really trying to get their arms around.
Got about 30 seconds, buddy. If you're the Browns, would you be interested in him and add him to the mix?
You should be interested. The Browns don't have their quarterback situation figured out in the long term. So absolutely, you consider it. You do all the work on the player. And if you feel comfortable at a certain point in the draft, I think that's a risk worth taking because you don't know. Next year, they might have the 5th overall pick. And the quarterbacks they love go 1, 2, 3, and then you're shut out of a quarterback again, and you still have these questions looming. So, you have to do your homework on the player, and as long as you feel comfortable with the person, maybe you use a 3rd or 4th round pick on them.
You're the best, buddy. Greatly appreciate you. Good talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
You too, man. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Dane Brugler, NFL Draft, the best in the business at The Athletic on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Save big money on your next painting project when you shop at Menards. Get long-lasting color with Pittsburgh's Grand Distinction Exterior Paint and Primer in one. It's highly dirt-resistant and provides a mildew-resistant coating. Save big money in all Pittsburgh paints. Our knowledgeable team is ready to help bring your dreams to life, 1 gallon at a time. Stop by your local Menards and get your project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 co-workers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This 4th of July week, Championship Golf takes center stage in Columbus. From July 2nd through 5th, the 46th U.S. Senior Open Championship comes to Scioto Country Club, where legends of the game meet hallowed grounds that don't play favorites. Feel the energy, the tradition, and the pressure of championship golf at its finest. Be there for every moment. Tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we're at the PGA Tour Superstore on Sawmill with some great Father's Day gift ideas, plus Bob Herrig and the U.S. Open from Shinnecock.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Still time to get those Hey Guys questions in. You can do so live in the YouTube chat. You can also do so on the X platform. We will tackle those coming up at 11 o'clock. Right now, though, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the Master Griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, we'll start with some NHL news. One, because it's breaking. Two, because it's important. And three, because it gives me a chance to correct myself from the top of the hour update. The NHL draft is next Friday at 7 o'clock. It'll be in Buffalo at the KeyBank Center. The Maple Leafs have the number 1 overall pick. They're on the clock as we speak. The Detroit Red Wings had the 15th overall pick, one behind Columbus, but now St. Louis owns that one. So we'll have plenty of draft coverage next week. But the Toronto Maple Leafs this morning announced the hiring of 57-year-old former assistant Jim Hiller. Hiller spent the last 3 seasons in Los Angeles with the Kings. He was fired back in March. He took the Kings to the postseason his first 2 seasons, but they did not make it out of the first round. Thing or not a thing?
Not a thing for me. I think that they are caroming towards irrelevancy for those of us south of the border. They're always going to be the team of record in Toronto and probably the team of record in Canada because they're so dang popular. But I don't think that they're legitimate in any way in the East. It seems to me like they're headed for kind of a massive rebuild. It seems like one more year of Austin Matthews, and they'll probably end up trading him too. So they are in what to me feels like the beginning of blow it up stages. I guess we'll see if you can actually do that there. And they now also, now that you brought this up, they now hold, I think, the streak of most painful without winning a championship. It's them. Like they're 1964. Haven't even sniffed the Stanley Cup since. Did they play with? I don't think they even played for one since the 70s. It's been forever. So not a thing.
This is not a thing for me either. Hiller, we mentioned, was a longtime assistant. He's been the head coach of the LA Kings for the past almost probably 2.5 seasons. He got the job in the middle of the 23-24 season, coached all of the next season, 24-25, and then was fired towards the end of this year, I think in March, and DJ Smith took over that job. 93-58-24 is his record as a head coach, but the LA Kings kind of underperformed with him as coach this year. According to them, they made the trade to bring Artemi Panarin in, and I think there were better coaches out there for the Maple Leafs. I think the Maple Leafs have a lot of issues here. kind of feels like they needed someone to come in and change the culture a little bit, and I don't know if Jim Hiller is that guy. There is a guy that we know can change culture out there. Now, I don't know if that's a long-term fix for Toronto. As you mentioned earlier, he's 68, but
yeah,
I think there were better people out there for them to hire.
We'll do some baseball if there's time in this segment. But yesterday, BetMGM released their SEC win totals.
Okay.
You've got two teams at the top, or at least two teams with their best totals. 9.5 for Georgia and Texas. LSU, Alabama, and A&M, 8.5. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida, 7.5. Thing or not a thing?
I feel pretty smart about my comments about Ole Miss. I mean, they were, 6th or 7th on that ESPN list? And Vegas sets their over-under at 7.5. That's how I see Ole Miss. I think they fall off a cliff in a big way. I think it's too low for Oklahoma. I'm doing this blind. I don't have any idea what their schedule looks like. I just think Oklahoma's a little better than I see them at least winning 8 games. I can't see that. I think LSU is going to be really good. I think they're going to settle in nicely and to be villain number 1 in college football. And Lane Kiffin's a hell of a coach. And offensively, they got firepower. They spent $60 million on the roster. Like, it's a football mercenary thing, but that's what Kiffin is. I think that'll work. It's also hard for me to imagine a scenario where Georgia and Texas don't win 10 games. So, I mean, that's a small margin. That's kind of the Ohio State thing. I think Alabama lower than 8.5 too. That one jumps out to me.
So there's a couple that jumped out to me, but they're a little lower on this list. I just believe in Alex Golish and the players that he brought in at Auburn, and Bowen Byram is a really good quarterback. 6.5 seems low for them. And also Vanderbilt at 5.5. Diego Pavia was pretty good for them. Jared Curtis, I know, is going to be a freshman, but he seems to have more upside than Pavia, and I think Clark Lee can coach it a little bit. I can't believe that Vanderbilt is going to drop off that far.
Boy, the Ole Miss one is the attention getter, though. For a team that people are consistently ranking in the top 8, and their win total 7.5, that tells you the real truth on where Ole Miss is.
So for Oklahoma, real quick, the Sooners do play the Runnin' Rebels in November. They're going to be hosting them Saturday, November 14th. For Oklahoma, they have Michigan week 2. They're going to Ann Arbor for that game. And then New Mexico. And then the next week, they're at Georgia. They have a bye week. Then on October 10th, they're playing Texas in the Cotton Bowl. And then that game after Ole Miss, they're hosting Texas A&M. Before the game on Saturday, November 14th against Ole Miss, they're at Florida.
So, you just did 5 games there. So they should beat Florida. The Texas game should be a coin flip. They should beat Michigan. I would pick them to beat Michigan. So that leaves, who else did you say in there? Texas A&M or they
Texas
basically
A&M.
need to go, yeah, they need to go or Ole Miss. So I think they can. So to me, they got to go 3-2 in that stretch, and that puts them well on their way to 8. If they just go 3-2, 2-3 still might do it, honestly. And all they got to do is get to 8 wins.
Ole Miss could be a fun one because they open, like you said, against Louisville, and then LSU and Florida in back-to-back weeks. And then Georgia, Oklahoma. They play Wofford November 21st before the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss, that number tells you what real truth is on Ole Miss right there.
I learned this morning that the Trevor Lawrence schedule reveal thing was fake.
Okay.
The Jaguars are giving everyone a chance to look like T-Law. They're giving away the wig that he wore during their schedule release. Their video featured him getting his haircut. And the length of hair he's had past his shoulders, I've never not known him with. So when they did that, I thought it was incredible, and I also thought it was real. But when it was brought out on May 14th, it caused such a stir with 3.8 million viewers. They had to put out a behind-the-scenes video of it, which I did not see. Thing or not a thing.
So he still has the long hair?
Yes.
That's where we're at?
Yes.
Okay. So he is so identifiable with that hair. He's had it the entire time he's been on the scene, going back to high school as a Georgia high school kid, all the way through Clemson, all the way through Jacksonville. It's almost like a James Harden situation. Like when you every once in a while you see an image of James Harden without the beard, and you're like, oh, that's what's going on there.
Put it back on.
It's a little bit like that with Lawrence, where it's like, what would it look like? Or like, remember Urlacher was so identifiable with the shaved head, and then all of a sudden he got the plugs, and he had a full head of hair, and it just looked odd. And I don't. It looked weird when he cut it. I'm not surprised he didn't, because it's so his look.
This is how little, I guess, I pay attention to those NFL schedule reveal videos. I didn't even realize this happened, that this was a thing, that they faked cutting his hair or people thought it was real. I had no clue. I would say this is a thing, that they're auctioning this off, but I couldn't find anywhere in this story, and I looked multiple different places where, like, usually they do something like this, it'll go to charity. And I didn't see, like, what charity it was going to, or if it was going to charity. Yeah. So this is not a thing until I find out that it is going to charity, and then it's a cool thing that they're raising money.
All right, final hour of the week. We get you officially endorsed. We'll have a little fun with Hey Guys coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Summertime's here, and that means it's the best time to upgrade. Why? Because you're running that AC in the house. If your windows are leaky and drafty, then all that good expensive air that you're creating in there is cooling the outside. Right now, you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. And the more windows you replace, the more you save. Plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. That's 4 full years to pay with no interest. 614-502-5220. UniversalWindowsDirect.com.
Whether you're repping the orange and brown or shouting Who Day, the ultimate football pilgrimage is closer than you think. Ditch the living room, get the family on the road, and make the short drive to greatness and visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. From the backyard to the gridiron, it's the one place where every fan comes together to create new family memories. Make it a weekend to remember and see why Ohio truly is the heart of football. Visit ProFootballHof.com and plan your visit today.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store, and my journey continues. No more agony of defeat. Already this season, I've walked 18 holes twice and lived to tell the story. My personally fit arch supports go where I go. And in this case, right into my shoes, all of them. I just pop them in any pair and off I go. Just having that support and the stability has made a world of difference for me. A while back, I walked into the Good Feet store and walked out with an entirely new outlook. And I knew it right away. After taking the test walk around the store, I felt the difference. And not just that cushy feeling, I'm talking about real support, the kind that makes you feel aligned. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I experience it daily. I really feel my personally fit arch supports guide my feet into their ideal position. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville. Get started at goodfeet.com.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Your plate is full every morning, thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, it's Bo Bishop here. If you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time at RCD RV. They've got over 850 RVs in stock. Motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers from trusted brands like Cougar, Georgetown, Springdale, Forest River, and Salem. Trade values are sky high right now, and every RV purchase from RCD RV comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. This limited time event ends June 27th, so don't wait. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com.
Everything you need to know about the Buckeyes is on, wait for it, The Buckeye Show, led by the Beamer.
I'm not going to lie to you. Getting ready now for Jeremiah Smith, you're already too late.
And featuring Austin Ward.
The reason that the weather was perfect for Texas at Ohio State is because it was played in the San Diego of the Midwest.
It's The Buckeye Show, weeknights at 6. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. We've got day baseball in Ohio's Queen City. The Reds look for the 3-game sweep of the Mets. Cincinnati hosts New York at 12:40. Red Legs are 2 games under 500, but only 3 games out of an NL wildcard spot. Cincinnati's off Thursday, in New York Friday against the Yankees. As for the Guardians, Cleveland will have to go at least the next month without all-star third baseman Jose Ramirez. J-Ram had surgery Tuesday to fix a broken left hand. 5 to 7 weeks is the time frame. We're 4 weeks out from the all-star break. Guardians dropped the first of a 3-game set in Milwaukee last night, 3-2. Both teams are back at American Family Field tonight at 7:40. In the minors, the Clippers host Scranton tonight at 7:40. In NHL news, the Maple Leafs have hired Jim Hiller as the 41st coach in franchise history. Toronto's got the number 1 overall pick in next Friday's draft. The Blue Jackets pick at 14. This update sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Try UDF's new Ice Cream Quake summer flavors, but only for a limited time.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a First Friday Miracle Edition program. Get your officially endorsed coming up at the end of it all. Right now, we kick it off with a little bit of Hey Guys. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions.
All right, so we get questions in the YouTube chatter at 971BFS. That's where we'll start. Hunter asks, hey guys, will you be doing House of the Dragon reviews starting next week? He adds, did Night of the Seven Kingdoms bring you back to the world of Westeros, or are you still out on House of the Dragon?
I was never out. I watched it. I didn't stop watching it. So, I mean, Reese and I will watch it. Bake, I don't think, is going to probably be in on it in any way, shape, or form.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Reese, are you going to watch it?
I'll watch the first episode.
See how it goes?
Yeah.
Did you bail on House of Dragon, or did you watch all? Have you watched it all?
I bailed on it every Sunday, and then I forget when it happened, but I went back for a couple episode binge. Just to wrap the second season. Are we going into the third season of it?
Third season, yeah.
And I was really underwhelmed.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty... The second season was pretty stupid, quite honestly. There were some huge set pieces that were really cool. They obviously paid a lot and put a lot of money into the dragon part of it. I loved Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It was a delight. I thought it was fun. It was really cool. It was really good. I thought it was spectacular. I'll watch this. I'll tell you what, this will come down to the audience. I mean, that's kind of what it is for everything. If the audience for this is massive, then we can do a 5-minute review on a Monday or a Tuesday and watch it. All of the early reviews of it are that it's a bonanza. Like, it's overwhelmingly positive for the critics who have seen it. So my hunch is the first 2 seasons of it were kind of like soft pedaling to get to where they are now. So we'll see. We'll see if it delivers. But my hunch is the numbers will be pretty good on it, though.
Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms was great.
It was.
House of the Dragon has been anything but. Even their first season, I just was kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Let's stick with Twitter at 971BFS. This from Lloyd. I'm going to turn it into a hey, guys. You get the Telemundo broadcast on the Peacock app when it comes to World Series games. So if you're interested in that sort of thing. On the YouTube chat, I just saw this one coming from Ace. He says, hey, guys, going to Virginia Beach next week with the family. He asks for suggestions/recommendations.
So this is hilarious because I'll be in Virginia next week for lacrosse. So I'll be there. I have never been. I've been through Virginia, but I've never been to Virginia Beach. I've never been to our tournament's in Richmond. I know Bob's in Baltimore. That's one of the little lessons. If your kids play lacrosse, you're going to spend summers on the East Coast and try to make little mini family vacations out of it. So there's a couple of really cool resorts in Virginia that we're going to hit up, and then we're going to go to, I think we're going to do Charlottesville for a day and then go to the tournament. I got nothing on Virginia Beach. I got nothing.
Kind of the same, Bo. I've driven through Virginia. I've driven through Virginia Beach, but I've never really spent any time there. So I don't have anything good outside of just going to the beach.
Yeah, which always wins. Yeah, it seems the people who, like, my niece goes to William and Mary, and it's in Virginia, and they always rave about it. So that's kind of that's my jumping off point. I don't really have a point of reference.
Phil in the YouTube chat asks, hey guys, would you rather have the ability to skip an hour a day or go back an hour a day? He adds, you lose your memory if you go back an hour.
I mean,
that sucks.
I would, look, at my age, I'm looking for all the extra hours I can get. So I would never skip an hour of anything. The only commodity we have that really matters is time. And as you get older, you start to really appreciate that time. I'm not a big time waster guy. I can't stand it. Certainly as I've gotten older, I have no patience for it. So I'm not skipping any hours. So I guess I'd have to go back. The lose the memory part of it would be an interesting one. I guess what that would be useful for is like in moments when you're like, should I make this decision or this one? And they're truly 50-50s and you choose poorly. Then if you go back, would you have something innate in you that would make you choose wisely?
Yeah, I don't think, especially the older I get, I want to lose any hours, Bo. Although it is kind of tempting when you have unnecessary meetings that maybe you could skip those hours and not have to do them.
Not bad.
But, it's situational, for sure.
I think, yeah, it's definitely go back. But when you throw the caveat of losing your memory, the situational of skipping an hour could be good, but we're men, we're 40 now, Bo. We can't be losing any hours.
Well,
it's too critical.
This jumped into my mind, and I hope it's going well, but Fish is in for a colonoscopy today.
Yeah.
And, like, that's an hour I think you'd like to skip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, any of those things, you're like, all right, I'm good, just get me to the end.
Yeah, the situational skipping of an hour wouldn't be the worst thing.
With that, though, Reese, we miss a meeting today. So,
That's
yes,
true.
we hope everything's good with Fish, but no meeting. That's a positive.
For us, I agree, but I'm sure he'd rather be here and fast-forwarding through what the ordeal is going to be. Jay asks, hey, guys, and this is a somber one. In honor of BD's Mongolian Grill closing their Sawmill location, what's your favorite buffet? He says it's the Ponderosa for him.
Oh, my gosh.
Which is an elite buffet.
So as you guys know, or maybe you don't, I'm not buffet guy. I don't like food sitting out and people hovering over it and choosing it. I can't even tell you the name of this place. I only ate there once. It was in California, and it was a sushi buffet. And it was fresh, and you could kind of just go and cherry pick the rolls that you wanted. That was really cool. I can't think of the name of it. There was a place, I'll tell you what I love, and you don't see it very often anymore, but I love, and I don't know if this counts as a buffet. You give me a salad bar, come on, with all the fixins, that's a big win. Oh, I know where I had one. There was one when my dad, when he was here a couple months ago, and he's like, I want to go up to Amish country. Okay, let's go. Let's go up to Amish country. And we ate at one of those Amish buffets. And that was pretty good. That was all right.
Dear Dutchman?
I think it might have been. I mean, it had the whole setup, and you had the full salad bar and the full, 7 billion amounts of pounds of butter and everything bar, and all of that felt kind of like a win. So maybe that's your winner.
So there's not as many of them anymore, but it's tough to beat a good pizza buffet like Pizza Hut back in the day.
It's a great job out of you.
Or the old Cece's
Pizza.
The brownies and the cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
It was so good. There's also, in like areas, touristy areas like Myrtle Beach, there's some quality buffets where you can get like crab legs on them, and those are good. But from my youth, it's hard to beat Ponderosa. Going to the Ponderosa and getting some sirloin tips and those chicken wings, it's tough to beat the Ponderosa.
You guys give me some color on the Ponderosa. I've never heard of it, never been to one.
Well, there's still one here in Columbus on South High Street, which always makes me nervous if you're going to a buffet on South High Street. But they it was like a kind of a steakhouse and a buffet, so you could order a steak. Like, I would always love getting the sirloin tips, and then you could get the buffet as well. And they had these fried chicken wings that they didn't have like any sauce on them or anything, but they were just so good. And they had a salad bar there too, Bo, and the whole dessert bar as well. You could get the ice cream and put sprinkles or chocolate sauce or all of it on there. It was tough to beat.
Some of my favorite high school lunch memories are at Cece's Pizza. $5 for the lunch buffet.
So good.
It was the best. Speaking of great memories, so Chris asks, hey guys, my kid's at his first summer football camp.
Okay.
He asks us to recall some of our favorite summer childhood memories.
All right. Okay. First of all, 2 other things on the buffet. Number 1, Buckeye cruise ship buffet is pretty elite. That
I
cruise
can
ship
imagine
buffet,
that is.
That doesn't surprise me.
Pretty damn
They have roosters
elite.
on that thing?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that they're locked in on the Buckeye cruise with the buffets. The other thing that I couldn't help, like, Pizza Hut just needs to go back to that. You want to bring back Pizza Hut, just bring back the red cups and the hot pie that comes to the plate, and get your buffets back in order, and then now you're on to something.
There's a lot of them doing that, by the way, Bo. They're going retro Pizza Huts.
All right. You asked about summer camp. I'm going to tell a story. I remember it like I'm going to do it after the break. My one night that I will never forget at Montana Farmers Union Camp. If that's what he's asking for, I think he wants best summer camp memories. Is that okay? I don't know if it's best, but I will tell you it involves pack rats. Literal. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. At Germain Toyota of Columbus, it's all about you, your drive, your style, and your budget. Stop in and see Marcello. He'll get you rolling. Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Our experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. Ohio State Urgent Care. This is world-class care.
Make it a Reds, white, and blue holiday. Join the Reds on Saturday, the 4th of July, as we celebrate America 250 and enjoy America's pastime when the Reds take on the Orioles. Fans in attendance will receive a USA Cowboy hat thanks to Network for Hope while supplies last. Be sure to stick around after the game for the biggest fireworks show in town. Great American Ballpark is the ultimate destination this 4th of July. Get your tickets now at reds.com/tickets.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. It is very difficult these days to find a great deal. Imagine if you had to buy something and you knew you had a certain amount you had to buy, but you got half of it for free unexpectedly. That would be an awesome deal. Well, the good news is Window Nation has that deal going on for you right now. With Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale, you could replace all your windows and get half of them for free. Plus, you could even get them with no money down, no monthly payment or interest for 2 years, and you get top quality materials, insulated glass, and precision seals, all at a great price. As the weather continues to get hotter, you're going to run your air conditioner more. If your windows aren't energy efficient, they're letting that cold air out of your house, and you're paying more. Fix that problem with Window Nation. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. They even have a lifetime warranty on these windows. Check out windownation.com to book your consultation today. That's windownation.com. Window Nation, proud partner of the Wounded Warrior Project.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
This weekend, the Ultimate Music Fusion takes the stage. Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Grammy Award-winning superstar Wyclef Jean performing live with the Columbus Symphony. From the Fugees to his massive solo career, experience unforgettable mix of hip-hop, reggae, and world music with hits like Gone to November. We trying to stay alive and more. One night only. This Saturday, June 20th at the Columbus Commons. Get your tickets now at picnicwiththepops.com.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have some more clouds around for the afternoon. Also watching for maybe a few scattered thunderstorms developing mainly northwest of I-71 after 4 or 5 this afternoon. Lower 80s for a high. More widespread thunderstorms are likely in the overnight hours. Few of those could be strong to severe as they move through after midnight. Gusty winds and heavy rain. For Thursday, partly cloudy skies and very breezy, lower 80s. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, the question was camp memory. Was it favorite? This was just what came into my head. This was the first overnight camp that I did. And
so that would have been in the summer. And Chris specifically asks, what childhood summer memory sticks out as your best summer activity growing up?
So we had to go to Montana Farmers Union Camp. It was just a rite of passage. It's what you did. I wasn't particularly excited about it. It was in the Highwood Mountains. It's still there. It's still operational. The property was massive. There was like a main area, and then there was like a rec hall where they would have like nightly dances, and those are pretty fun. And then if you found a girl who you took a fancy to, you could walk her to the Y, and the Y was about a half-mile walk to. The girls all stayed in a ranch house, like on one far end of the property, and you could walk them to the Y, but boys could not be seen going inside the girls, and you had to stay completely away. And I was probably 10, 11, 12, something like this when this was going on. I did this 2 years in a row. The boys, however, stayed like down a hill in an old barn. Truly, an old barn. You would sleep on sleeping bags, on kind of cots, and you had there was no shower. There was one toilet. There was no door to the toilet, so that was a lot of fun for a 12-year-old. The people who were like in charge were high school kids, so we were like 10, 11, 12, and then high school kids were like our bosses, and there were a couple like adults, but the people who were like with us, counselors or whatever, they were high school kids. So it was pretty primitive, and I was quite terrified the first time I went there, even though I had a great deal of experience in these amount of things. But we had a ball. Most of the time it was a blast, and we did a raid into the girls' house and all of these things, and went through the woods and back, tracked them and all of this nonsense. And so we did all of that. But this night is the one that jumped to my mind when you said summer camp. So it was the middle of the night, and we heard what was unmistakably, and as a bunch of farm ranch kids, we know what this sounds like, mice, rats. We thought mice is what we thought. We thought we had mice. So there were two high school kids who were our chaperones, counselors, whatever. They flipped the lights on, and when they flipped the lights on, there were probably two adult pack rats. Now, a pack rat is roughly the size of a wolverine. And on top of the pack rat, of one of the pack rats, was a bunch of babies, like 15 or 20 baby rats were there. I mean, it was just gross. And they were everywhere. They were climbing in kids' cots. It was like a rat infestation that had happened, which then this leads to sheer on panic. And this is in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning type stuff. And one of the counselor guys, after like trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with this, because what are you going to do? You can't exactly wrangle rats. You can't shoo them away. There were tens and tens of them. So one of the counselor kids, and if you're squeamish, this isn't going to be for you necessarily. He decides the smart thing to do is pull out his gun. So now in a barn with rats running amok, this idiot, Brent was his name, never forget his face or his name. Brent decides that what the idea thing here is he's going to shoot the rats. In a barn full of kids, he's going to shoot the rats.
All of them?
He's going to try. So now, to be fair, he doesn't have a 22. He doesn't have a 45. He had a pistol pellet gun. Okay? He starts shooting these rats. He misses a lot. We have pellets that are bouncing off of walls and hitting off of ground and carrying into kids who were... I mean, it was the most insane thing of all time. Cut to the chase of it all. He did win, inevitably. And I remember by the time the entire ordeal was done, the sun started to come up. So it was hours of this. And then it was like 6 a.m., go to the bathroom, go have breakfast at 6 a.m. and start your day at Farmers Union Camp. So and I just was thinking to myself as I'm telling that story and remembering it so vividly, can you imagine if I threw like Beamsy into that setup?
No.
How that goes? How does he even, if he listens to this segment and I say, this is what I did at summer camp, kid, like how do they got nothing.
I'm guessing you didn't have any problem going to the bathroom that morning at least.
No. It was so gross.
Insane.
It was so gross. I mean, it just pack rat. It was awful. It's bad.
So I don't have any camp stories or anything like that. But my two favorite childhood memory summer stories is we had family that lived about it is a suburb of Knoxville, basically. So we would almost every summer go down there and see them. And then when I was younger, probably elementary school, maybe a little bit into middle school, I would always have, right before school started, like a baseball party with all of my friends where they would come over. Some of my closest friends would come over, and we'd have a sleepover at the house that night, and then we'd all go play baseball the next day. Like Dad would pitch, and we'd split up into teams, and we'd have a big baseball party, and everybody always looked forward to that.
I don't have a story nearly as good as Brent's. I have my affinity for parades because we used to build them in our neighborhood for the 4th of July parade, so I did a lot of pomping as a kid. Is there a Brent update? Like, do we know what he's doing with his life?
I don't know. Just the absurdity of I don't know. The other things that we did, I remember one kid got kicked out of Farmers Union Camp because he shot a fire extinguisher at another kid, and his parents had to come get him in the Highwood Mountains. You can Google it. If you put in Montana Farmers Union Camp, you can see the property still. It's largely unchanged from when I was there. I do remember it was where I learned how to, I guess now out here they call it swing dancing. My wife always makes fun of me. I learned how to jitterbug is what we called it there. And that was always a good way to hang out with chicks. So it was awesome for that. And as I got older, I really appreciated it. But in the moment, I will never forget that story. I did overnight football, basketball camps, all that stuff, too, through high school and stuff. And they were always great. It was awesome.
I'm guessing Brent ended up somewhere with your uncle in that van, just doing whatever.
Whatever he needed. I mean, the kid was wild. He was I probably would have done similar, though, if I would have stuck with it and gone as if I would have somehow been a counselor in high school. I was done with it after I was probably 12, but I imagine that I probably would have had weaponry of some sort as well. I remember at one point they were trying to throw 2x4s at the rats to kill them. They were trying to do it that way, and then finally he was like, "Well, I've got this," and it was like, "Well, this jumped up a notch."
I talked yesterday about you and Uncle Dom going to the Incarceration Fest and touring the reformatory prison. Maybe this is more content we could do. Let's send your kids off to Montana camp and we can video all of it.
Be unbelievable. I don't even know how they would wrap their heads around it. Because the other thing, they would be so fish out of water because all of the kids there are used to the behavior. In retrospect, looking back on him pulling a pellet gun and shooting it at rats that are moving amidst 25, 12-year-old boys is absurd. But in the moment, it felt entirely reasonable.
Yeah, how many of you were armed?
Well, just him.
Okay.
You couldn't have weaponry. Every kid did have it. We all had jackknives, because that was something you had always growing up on the Ponderosa. You always had a pocket knife. That was like a rite of passage. You become 12, here's a pocket knife. You never know when you're going to need it. I don't know, what the hell was I going to do with it? I never used it. I just carried it around. What did I need a pocket knife for?
We'll get one in real quick from Union Man who asks, "Hey guys, if you were stranded on an island and could only have one chain restaurant available, what would it be?" He says his would be Chick-fil-A.
Cheesecake Factory. You
so
see
many
the size
options.
of that menu? They got 1,000 options. I mean, I feel like I'd have a different cuisine every day and never get bored.
Hold on.
I'm not saying they do them all great.
You're eating chicken for the rest of your life?
Hey man,
there's no other option
it's
here.
His island option.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can do there. I mean, and by the way, that's why their business model is so successful. They cook one thing.
Do we consider Roosters a chain?
I would.
Because
local,
Roosters, you can get a little bit of everything there, sample all kinds of stuff. You can have pizza, chicken wings, burgers.
I think Chipotle's probably...
Sandwiches.
Chipotle would be my option.
You're eating a lot of... You guys aren't giving enough credit to the Cheesecake Factory here.
That's a good one, like a BJ's Brew House or something that has everything on the menu.
You would get it. You could have a different. How long would it take you to eat everything on the Cheesecake Factory menu?
I mean, years. Longer than Tom Hanks was stranded on that island.
The audacity that we're going to do all of these things well it's a crazy business model.
I've eaten at Cheesecake Factory a handful of times, and I've only enjoyed the cheesecake.
It's fine, but you're on a
I guess
deserted island.
Yeah, beggars and choosers and whatnot.
Yeah, but at least you're getting a little different variety there on that. By the way, did you see this? That for the first time in 20 years, Jersey Mike's passed Chick-fil-A as the number one customer experience chain, fast food chain in America.
Well, there's only one explanation for that: flat Doms.
Flat Doms everywhere. You throw some flat Doms up. I did see this one real quickly from Sneggs, and as someone who is old, I can identify with it. He goes, "What's the worst place you've ever gotten a Charlie horse?" I never had Charlie horses in my life. I'll never forget the night. It was 2 summers ago. I woke up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse in my thigh that put me to my knees, and I could not un-Charlie it. I ended up drinking an entire bottle of pickle juice to try to get some sort of relief. It was the most paralyzing thing. He said he once got one in his jaw. I've not had one in my jaw. That's
pain on a new level.
Bo, I have a pretty good Charlie horse story we could talk about on the other side of the break.
All right. Those are pretty bad. So we will hear that story. And the NFL decides now they're going to get involved in college sports. We'll get to that coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 4 windows, get 4 free. And 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, "I love my windows."
I love my windows. They've got that brand new in effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son Mike. In addition to the comp case, there's a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's Bo Bishop here. If you've been thinking about an RV, now is the time at RCD RV. They've got over 850 RVs in stock. Motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers from trusted brands like Cougar, Georgetown, Springdale, Forest River, and Salem. Trade values are sky high right now, and every RV purchase from RCD RV comes with a $500 ODNR gift card for your next Ohio State Park getaway. This limited time event ends June 27th, so don't wait. Visit RCD RV or shop now at rcdrv.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, we're inching closer, kids. The Fan 5K, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. 5K run, 1 mile walk. It's happening Saturday, Otterbein. You can run the Fan 5K with Brother Bone, the 9.71K with Reese, or the Common Man Mile, sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Or if you're in the mood for a sprint, you can beat Powell, Mr. Tyvus, little nephew, in the 40-yard dash. That's sponsored by Logan Services. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, awesome giveaways. The Fan 5K is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. Charlie Horsebeck?
So I think by far the worst place to get a Charlie horse or any kind of cramping is in water in the pool. Yeah. So this happened to me once. We had just got done playing a softball tournament, and I can't remember if it was 1 day or 2 days, but we had played a lot of games. It was really hot out, and I think I even at this softball tournament started cramping in my sides, like my rib cage area.
Okay.
So whenever we would play softball, when we were done, we would go back to my buddy's dad's house, and we would all hang out at the pool. Mm-hmm. Whatever it was, however much time we had. So I remember after this tournament, I'm floating on a raft in the pool, and all of a sudden my side starts cramping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's terrible, and I can't get it to go away. Mm-hmm. Well, about that time, my buddy didn't realize this was going on, and he jumped on top of me.
Oh, God.
On the raft. So at that time, you see this happening, I jerk my legs towards my chest really fast. Then my hamstring and my calves start cramping. So I am literally full body Charlie horse going on. Can't get it to stop. Trying to stay afloat in this pool. And it's hard to like straighten your legs and stand. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to die and drown in this pool while I'm cramping. Luckily, I got one of the ones in my leg to go away a little bit. And I could kind of like hop on one leg over to the side and get out of the pool. And I just like laid and stretched as far as I could on the deck, but it was awful.
That's awful.
I can almost feel that pain.
I'm going to drown. All of a sudden, you're going to drown.
I'm going to die due to cramping.
Just try to suck down all the electrolytes you can, like as quick as you can, to be able to get it to stop.
It's Darren Peterson thought the creatine was bad.
Oh, man. By the way, I was looking in the break, the place where that they have the Montana Farmers Union camp, that you can now rent the property for a weekend for a cool $10K.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they do weddings there now?
Probably. Yeah. I'm sure they do weddings and corporate retreats and such, because everybody loves Montana.
I'm hoping they got the rat problem under control.
It's a big
That's
problem.
what Brent's doing. He's the exterminator.
What if he's still there? I really should look it up and see
He's
if
the
he's
Great
like the
Falls
director.
exterminator.
What if he's the guy? It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful spot, but I mean that $10,000 for 2 nights is a little choice, I would say. The NFL is having some thoughts. Not only all of this is kind of coming to head. You have the Brendan Sorsby stuff that's coming to head. You also have, from the National Football League perspective, this College Sports Act stuff that they're now having comments on. I'm dubious to think that anything meaningful will come of any of this. In terms of the Sorsby, the NFL Players Association, Sorsby will not become a member of the union until he's drafted or signed a contract. If the NFL decides not to accept Sorsby into its supplemental draft, the NFLPA will have no standing to challenge the move. If alternatively he's suspended after he's drafted, the NFLPA can mobilize with a formal grievance. My hunch is that he will not be suspended by the NFL. I initially thought that he would. I thought that they would cite the Terrell Pryor stuff from 2011. But this is a very different NFLPA now than it was then. Here's the other kind of little secret about this. The NFL wants this kid. I mean, you just do the let's play a game. You guys just tell me, you just say yes or no. Just gut feeling, there's no right or wrong answers. I'm going to give you an NFL team, and you just tell me if the easier way to do this, here's how I'll frame it. You just say if they're out, like they would have no interest in drafting him. So just out. Everybody else, it's a percentage. Some are going to be absolutely, and some are going to be, 10%, maybe. But you count how many are truly out on drafting the kid. Buffalo.
In.
I think they're out.
Okay. One out for Buffalo from Beck. Miami.
In.
New England.
In.
Out.
I think out. Jets.
Well, when we say draft, like if
supplemental drafting him, so giving up something.
Yeah, probably New England out.
Jets.
In.
Baltimore.
I'd say in.
I think they're in.
Yep.
Especially, did you see this Lamar Jackson story that maybe he doesn't want, if they don't sign him by the time the season starts?
Yep. Cincinnati.
In.
I think they're out.
Okay.
But I could be persuaded to them being in.
Cleveland.
In.
Pittsburgh.
In.
Houston.
In.
Out.
I think they're in. Indy.
In.
Jacksonville.
They were the one that I was questioning, but I'm still going to say in.
I think they're in.
Tennessee.
In.
I have them as an out.
New coach.
I think they're out.
Gives me pause a little bit there.
I think they're out, but Cam Ward, if this is in 2 years, maybe in.
Yeah, I'll make this exercise a little easier. I don't see a team being totally out. You could talk me into any situation with every team.
Okay, so I would say I have a list of teams that I think would not give up future capital to take a risk on him. And the list I had was Buffalo, New England, Cincinnati, Tennessee. I think everybody in the AFC West. I could see maybe Denver and the chart. Actually, probably only Kansas City in the AFC West. I don't think Denver would give up future assets. I don't think Vegas would give up future assets, and I don't think the Chargers would. They all have really young quarterbacks who aren't worth that risk. If you look at it from it, I guess what we probably should have done is say, would this team give up a third-round pick to do it? Maybe that qualifier changes it. But if you take this exercise to the NFC, everybody in the NFC East to me is in except for Washington. They'd all give up a third-round pick for him. NFC North, I don't think Chicago would, but Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, sure. I think all of those teams would. NFC South, I think they all would. Every one of them would. Like maybe New Orleans if they really like Shuck, but I don't know if they really do. And NFC West, the Rams are probably out, and maybe San Francisco, but everybody else.
See, I think San Francisco is a sneaky team to watch in this.
They gave him $400 million to Purdy.
Which maybe they don't think.
Jones.
Maybe they don't think they're getting what they thought on their investment. Maybe they think they could trade Purdy for something. I don't know. I think San Francisco's a sneaky team.
One thing on San Francisco too, he's not exactly Kyle's type.
It's fair.
Like he has a type, and that he's not exactly it. My point is that there are going to be way more teams in on him than there are going to be teams out on him. Is kind of the reality. And I know some people think, third, fourth round. I think he's going to end up being a second round supplemental. Ask yourself this from an NFL perspective. How many second round picks hit? Like, not even half.
Yeah. It was
5 or 6 around.
Yeah.
Like,
40%.
Yeah.
And
so if you
hit is like get to a second contract with the team that drafted them.
It's a total hit, Reese. Get to a second contract. So now all of a sudden you can get a borderline, depending on what your evaluation of him is, a borderline first-round talent. Even if it's a second-round talent, it's second-round talent at the most important position. So whether he's your future quarterback or he's now a tradable asset, either way, for a second-round pick, what are you giving up? The reason the teams that I had as no is, like, how do you walk into Joe Burrow and say, yeah, we just use a second-round pick in the next year's draft on your position? How do you walk into Drake May? How do you walk in? I mean, the teams that are chasing it, how do you do that? Because I think he's going to be a second. I think you couldn't do that with like Jaden Daniels in Washington, or Caleb Williams in Chicago. It'd be like, wait, what? You gave up a 2? Like we needed players, cheap players that we have under control. Like we don't need more quarterbacks. But I think there's going to be a lot of interest. Go ahead, Vic.
I mentioned this earlier on Sorsby.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a little buyer beware. 6 games versus teams under 500. 6-0, 68.2 completion percentage, 10 yards per attempt, 17 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 92.4 PFF grade, 13 big-time throws, 1 turnover-worthy play. 6 games, teams above 500, 1-5, 54.9 completion percentage, 6.8 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 67.5 PFF grade, 10 big-time throws, and 6 turnover-worthy plays. His career outside of those 6 good games, 29 games, 7-18 record as a starter, a 59.7 completion percentage, 6.9 yards per attempt, 42 touchdowns to 18 interceptions.
Yeah, all of that is fair. He was on... That's why this year was so important for him, because he was going to play on a great team. And he has, up until this point, he has not played on great teams. He's been on very mediocre teams up until this point. So that's why this year was going to be so interesting to me, was that side of it. But, the proof will be here in a month or whenever it is when they have a supplemental draft. And my hunch is he's going to be very, very much involved with it. Get your officially endorsed in 3 things on the first Friday. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but whew, you've accepted that. The Fan.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Sounds like you heard about our special sale right now, where qualifying installs are 40% off.
Yep, it's why we're now offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
Wait, what was that?
That was the disclaimer. I can make up all kinds of things as long as there's a disclaimer at the end.
I'm not sure that's right, Wilson.
Sure it is. Listen, I can bench press 100 pounds. No, I can't. That's a lie.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. Did you know that 1 in 4 men over 40 have low testosterone? You can get your levels back with Low T Center. They tailor their TRT to every man to make sure his levels are where they need to be. Go to fixmylowt.com and book your free testosterone test.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place.
Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, and a member FDIC.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, happy Father's Day month.
You know what, Jerry? I grew up with a single mom, so it's always been important to me to be the best dad I could be.
You install air conditioners in people's homes, Aaron. That literally makes you the cool dad. Get it?
Get Eco.
ECO. Did you just call a guy with an HVAC company a cool dad? That really is a dad joke.
Get Eco.
ECO.
A cool dad like you can install a new air conditioner that makes the whole family cool.
Well, a really cool dad would repair the air conditioner they have.
And leave more money for Father's Day presents.
With our AC Repair Buyback program, we'll even credit you any money you spend on the repairs against the purchase of a new system, if you change your mind and replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hypothetically, Aaron, what does a guy like yourself look for in a necktie?
I don't wear ties, Jerry, and I'm certainly not your dad.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and cool dad HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. Because this ad is 30 seconds, I can't get into everything I'm FDA approved to do, so I'm just going to play my jingle again. But first, ask your doctor about which FDA approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA approved Ozempic. Now here's that jingle again.
There's only one Ozempic.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
When you've been around for a while like I have, you learn a few things. I like to think I know a little bit about this, but for pests like ants or termites or pack rats when I was a kid, God, what I would have done with Rose Pest Solutions would have saved me so much anguish all these years. Over 165 years of experience, they've mastered their craft as the nation's oldest family-owned pest control company. The pros from Rose protect Columbus homes and businesses. Expert pest prevention and treatment. Got a pest problem? Rose is a solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. What do we have in the poll today, Reese?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, what do we see first in Cincinnati? Your options are a Super Bowl parade or an NFL draft. 86% say the draft.
Are they scheduled to have a draft that I missed?
I know that Katie Blackburn was the latest to ask for one. She did that media availability this week and said that they are petitioning the league to get it in Ohio's Queen City.
I think we had something, what was it, about a month and a half ago, that it was right around the time they officially announced Minnesota as having the 28 draft, that Cincinnati was the probable spot for the 2030 draft, I believe they said.
So the only thing I know, and because of the familiarity of when the Browns hosted the draft, and that was in the COVID year, is you have to be able to have a plan that is there for if inclement weather happens. So the Browns' inclement weather ended up being COVID, and they ended up having to do it the way that they ended up having to do it. But initially their plan was to do it out on a barge is what they were going to do. That was part of it. It was going to be out on a barge. So, like, you have to be malleable. Where would they have it? It would all be on the riverfront, would it not? Like, would it, where would they have it set up?
Probably in Paycor, or I was thinking something exactly similar to what happened with Acrisure, what they did in Pittsburgh, because riverfront. Pittsburgh's got like two more rivers. Pittsburgh leads the river count, but the exact same thing. With the proximity to downtown, it
would work.
Feels like a win, and you could cross the river.
Yeah, you could go to the Kentucky side, and you could do that there as well. All right, it's the First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right, this is one of my favorite summer, if I'm craving something salty, cocktails. I actually talked about this on with Brother Bone and Mike Bennett this morning. So what you need to do is you need to find a Blanco tequila that you enjoy. So you can do Añejo too, but then you get a little of those vanilla notes, and it kind of is counterintuitive to the mixer that I'm going to give you. But so I like Gran Centenario Blanco. That's a really good one. There's a lot of good Blanco tequilas out there. So you take a glass full of rocks, probably about 3 ounces of tequila, and then you find your favorite pickle brine. And this ain't going to work if you don't like pickles. It's not. I basically stumbled on this about a year ago, and I have it once a month or something, but I do enjoy it in the summer. Find your favorite pickle brine. I actually bought, my favorite one that I have is the Mount Olive pickle brine. I actually bought a jug of it without the pickles. And I use that for the cocktailing. So then I top it off with that, and then I hit it with celery salt. You can use tahini or something like that if you're looking for a little bit more heat to provide you that. And then I garnish it with just a single small dill pickle, and away you go. But if you like pickles, and I do, it's a delight and really good for this time of year, and it secretly hydrates you as well. So you have that to look forward to, which is nice, and that's good if you're officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. Time for 3 things. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
So, number one for me, I was cleaning out one of my cars this morning. I'm getting it detailed, and in it, I found what appears to be, I would say, it's a 1990 Topps football card. And on the card, it's not a player card, it's actually a moment card. And the card is Jim Harbaugh playing for the Bears with a bunch of Rams trying to tackle him. And the tagline says, I'm not making this up, I actually tweeted this out earlier this morning, Harbaugh eludes the pursuit. Truly. Harbaugh eludes the pursuit. 1990. They knew then.
Just escaping. Every decade, a different escape.
Just Danny Ocean in it. Everywhere he goes.
I saw something where he would get into the cold, or he still gets into the cold tub with the Chargers in his khaki pants. It's like, could you have picked a weirder person? I'm thrilled they're not going to win anything ever. Because, man, be done.
Yeah,
I'm done. So golf.com, I'm trying to think if golf.com is the Golf Digest, but they're two different entities, has this news from about 10 minutes ago. Golfers received a memo from the USGA about the greens at Shinnecock ahead of the U.S. Open, which starts tomorrow. Quote, given the probability of high winds on Thursday and Friday, the USGA is planning to syringe putting greens between the morning and afternoon waves both days. Syringing involves a very light application of water to hydrate the grass leaf blade to prevent wilt, preserve turf health, and reduce stress on the putting greens, which is Poa annua grass.
Jeez.
So today I learned what syringing the greens is.
Holy cow. I mean, that tells you. So they're going to be having to just manage that golf course all weekend to make it playable.
Which I think they did that last time they were there. They had guys like out watering the greens in between groups.
So you're almost like following up the final group just to preserve the greens is a hell of a thing.
Ohio State is doing their 7-on-7 recruiting camp over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center here yesterday and today. And there's been some video out there of Brady Edmonds, who's an Ohio State commit, throwing, and a 2028 quarterback. I believe it's Christopher Varga throwing the ball as well. There's also Chase Brown of 11 Warriors posted this on the socials. There's a video of Carlos Lachlan working with 4-star 2028 running back Elijah Newman Hall. So 2028, that means this kid's going into his junior year, so he's 16 or 17 years old, something like that. This kid has man legs. I mean, he is put together. This kid looks like a beast. I don't know how good he is, but I wouldn't mind seeing him suit up in scarlet and gray.
It's crazy. And I worry about the long-term parts of it, but it's crazy how advanced these kids are so quickly. So my wife heard me telling the story of the pack rat situation at Montana Farmers Union Camp. So she texts me. She wants the boys, when we're out in Montana at the end of July, to spend a day working on the Ponderosa, either County Line Farms or Merrimack Cattle Company. I think I might be for this. Them actually being put to work would be an amazing thing to watch. Fix the fence.
We need videos.
Yeah, there's got to be documentation of this when it happens.
Yeah, I might do it.
Real quick for me from the Corrections Department, Clippers and Rail Riders of Scranton is tonight at 7:05 over at Huntington Park. Then they play tomorrow at 12:05. So day baseball in the Arena District on Thursday. I don't know where my head was at the 11 o'clock update.
Second thing for me, I don't remember who had the Hey Guys question about the buffet, but I've been starving ever since. And
yeah, always doing food talk just is the worst.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's like Iacono's or Cheshire Margaret or Massey's. I'm pretty sure I'm hitting a pizza buffet after the show.
Buffet.
Massey's is pretty elite for a pizza buffet.
There you go. You have that. Enjoy your first Friday. Everybody out there. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is